Good afternoon, everyone. It's Rod Kilgour here at Deakin Reserve on this grand day. It's the 1985 Grand Final in Goulburn Valley League football, and Channel 6 Sport is very thrilled to bring you this game live here this afternoon. The noise in the background is that of the Lemnos Football Club, who have just won the reserves, and they won it very easily, defeating Shepparton United. And the scores: Lemnos 18 goals 13 to Shepparton United 10 goals 7. And this morning, to those Kyabram people who have not already heard, Kyabram were victorious over Seymour in the thirds, and they defeated Seymour 12 goals 7 to Seymour 5 goals 9. So it was a bomber victory in the thirds, and the Swans have come up in the reserves. And of course, we're now waiting for the presentation of the various medals, and the Channel 6 chopper will be in shortly, and of course it's on with the game. Today we're very proud to have with us again David Code, a dual Morrison medalist, and David's going to give his interpretations of who's going to win today, and he'll be talking with our special comments throughout the afternoon. David, a very good welcome to you, and who do you think is going to win the big one today?
Thanks, Rod. I think Marupna, Rod, they've been the top team all year. They deserve to be favourites. They've only lost one game for the year, and I think today they should win. Although United can't be discounted, they played extremely well last week against Tongala, and they'll certainly be in there trying.
They're the only team to defeat Marupna this year, of course, so that must obviously make a difference.
Yes, and they beat them quite comfortably. It was on Deakin Reserve, so that psychologically that will be an advantage for them.
Well, it's going to be a big day. Chris Smith, of course, has done absolutely everything right as coach. He's a magnificent coach and a great centre-half back, and many people feel that he could be the difference between winning and losing for Marupna.
Yes, I think that could be right. United obviously have to try and play around him at centre-half back. I think probably Marupna's big man power all over the ground could be the telling factor. It's a little bit windy, a little bit blustery, so that might help the smaller United fellows.
Yes, the conditions here at Deakin Reserve this afternoon are cool but sunny periods, but it is a little blustery, a little cool when the sun does go under the clouds. Speaking of clouds, we'll be looking for the Channel 6 chopper to come back shortly, and we'll move up into the broadcasting box, and we'll hold for a few messages and be back for the presentation of medals as the teams run out on the ground. Let's quickly have a look at the lineups of the teams as they were selected on Thursday night. There's been a bit of cloak and dagger about the Marupna team, and Barry Freer will not take his place in the side, and in his position Leo Darvanese will move to fullback, and Glenn Davis moves onto the halfback flank. So it's Baldwin, Darvanese and Selmy. The halfbacks Storer, Smith and Davis. The centre line Enders, Linford, Bence. Half forwards will be Cross, McCarty and Warnett. Robson, Pert and Cashin. The rucks are Reid and Wong. The rover is Cooper, and the reserves players will be Davey and young Madgwick. The Shepparton United team will be from the back line DeSanta Anna, Parker and Fuller. The halfbacks Power, Reynoldson and Judd. The centre line Spencer, Kitto and McCluskey. The half forwards will be Hicks, Turlick and Truan. The forward line Patterson, Ralph and Bicknell. The rucks will be Warburton and Trionitis. The rover is Blizzard, and the interchange will be McLeod and McPherson. That's no doubt a very good team. It's going to be a great day. Well, the teams are lined up here, and we're waiting for the Channel 6 helicopter to come down and present. Inside the helicopter will be the president of the Goulburn Valley Football League, and Mr. Barry Conley. Also, of course, Gary Gvfl, our intrepid photographer, and the man who is known so well throughout the Goulburn Valley, particularly by the Shepparton Football Club, the great Tom Hafey, will emerge from the helicopter with the Hasty Cup, and he will present that here today before the game. So we're very, very pleased to have Tom along. Tom was up last night for the Shepparton Football Club reunion. I believe it was a great night for the Shepparton Football Club, and he'll be with us very, very shortly, we hope. In fact, on your screen now, we see the helicopter moving around. It will be landing around about the middle of the oval, and we'll be then waiting for the presentations. Now, hopefully, Dick Clay, the former Morrison medalist and great Richmond player, will also be presenting a trophy. He'll be presenting the Patterson medal, and Barry Conley will be presenting the Morrison medal to Gary Cooper, and Tom Hafey will be presenting the Avocare medal. So you can see it now, we can hear it coming in. This is the Channel 6 Skywatch helicopter, which is based at Ballarat in country Victoria, and I'm pretty sure that this is going to be the first time that a helicopter has ever landed on Deakin Reserve. I can be pretty sure of that. So there it is there now, and I hope we've still got Tom. We thought if it came in lopsided, it would mean that Barry Connolly was going to be sitting on one side of the copter. That's a great sight, David.
It is a terrific sight, Don. Rod, it adds a real bit of colour to the game.
Yes, as I mentioned, the Channel 6 chopper based at Ballarat, and we fortunately have the services of it today, and Gary Gvfl will be taking some photographs of that a little bit later. Gary's just hopped out of the chopper now, and he's going to bring the men out. Here's Tom Hafey, and I know that Tom Hafey, of course, is a very, very popular man in the area, and he's receiving a magnificent round of applause. Very fitting, David.
Yes, a real stalwart for the Shepparton Football Club in the 60s, Rod, and you notice he's wearing the traditional T-shirt.
Yes, it is. I don't know how much Adidas pay him each year, but I tell you what, it's worth $1 million, I guess.
It's good advertising
there. And of course, Tom never feels the cold. It's quite cool out there, I can assure you. So I think it's time now to move down to the commentary area as we cross down to Brother Don, who of course is the Public Relations Officer for the Goulburn Valley Football League, and he'll be crossing to introduce the various people who are presenting the trophies here today. So it's down to the centre of the oval and Don Kilgour.
Football clubs to premierships, and returns today to the Goulburn Valley League to present the Premiership Cup to the League General Manager to be won here today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say welcome home, Tom Hafey.
Thanks very much, Don. Well, I come back each year to see the grand final. I know that the players are very anxious. It's a big day. We've got great memories of the Goulburn Valley, and it's great to see the way the league has really kicked on. I'm looking forward to a tremendous match today, so best of luck to both sides. There's the cup. It's worth fighting for. I think everybody would agree. Thanks very much.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Goulburn Valley Football League, if he survived the chopper ride, Mr. Barry Connolly.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to invite you all here to witness a magnificent game between two top sides today. We hope you have an enjoyable day. Good luck to both teams. Good luck to the umpire. May the best team win.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the presentation of the trophies that were won, the medals that were won during the home and away games this year. The 3rd 18 Patterson medal is going to be presented today by a former Morrison medalist, and a man that Tommy Hafey knows only too well because he played in premiership teams with him at Richmond. We welcome back Dick Clay to make the presentation of the Patterson medal to Rocco Bagnato of the Tatura Football Club. Come forward, Rocco, and receive the Patterson medal from Dick Clay from the Kyabram Football Club, of course, a great Richmond player. Well done, Rocco Bagnato. The 2nd 18, the trophy is going to be presented to a fellow who's already won this trophy 2 years ago, Mick Fazzalori from the Shepparton Football Club. Thank you, Mick. Tommy Hafey to make the presentation to Mick Fazzalori, the winner of the Avocare medal for the 2nd 18. Well done, Mick Fazzalori. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a player who is taking part in today's grand final. A magnificent player who this year won his 3rd Morrison medal in 9 years. From the Mooroopna Football Club, the Morrison medalist, Gary Cooper. Gary Cooper to receive his medal from the league president, Mr. Barry Connolly. Congratulations, Gary, and all the best in today's game. Thank you, medalists. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please stand by for the national anthem. Thank you, players. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's on with the 1985 Goulburn Valley Football League Grand Final.
Move off the arena, and we see the teams going for a kick, and we'll cross back to the studio for two clear commitments, and we'll be back for the bounce of the 1985 Goulburn Valley League Grand Final. Well, the players have just come out from their little huddles. An interesting one for Shepparton United with young Dean Patterson coming up from the thirds, originally selected on the forward flank, and as I thought, he's moved to the bench. And Darryl McLeod, who played a very good game last week, has moved to the pocket. Now, it's been, as I mentioned, real cloak and dagger business with Mooroopna, and we haven't picked them up yet. It's Gary Cowton definitely is not playing. And coming onto the bench, young Madgwick is there, and also Ron Davey. So that's it. Colin Cormack, who was in the 21, is not obviously going to take his place in the 20. The officials this afternoon, umpire Peter Howe, who's of course a senior official umpire in the VFL, with Goulburn Valley League umpire in Eric Williams. Great to see Eric get the game. And the boundaries will be Peter Craig and Kevin Burley, and the goal umpires Peter Barker, and officiating in about his 5th grand final, and Henry Power. So umpire Howe has the ball, and he's ready to commence play for the 1985 Goulburn Valley League Grand Final. And in ruck is Darryl Reid for Mooroopna, and Richard Warburton for the Shepparton United team. Up they go, and Reid gets the tap down to Trionitis, and the umpire has seen a free kick, and it's going Mooroopna's way, and the big bomber Reid will take the kick, the first kick of the match for the grand final. And there's the kick from Reid, not a bad one either. Mooroopna are kicking away from the town end, and I believe United would have the wind assistance at the moment, yes. David Coe.
Yes, it looks like United have the wind. If I might be wrong, but I thought Mooroopna won the toss and perhaps kicked against it.
There's the kick now from the outer side of the ground, and picked up by Glenn Davis. Young Truan there wearing number 49. Apparently his jumper was stolen from the rooms earlier on in the day, and he normally was to wear number 46, wearing 49 today. Out towards McCluskey. He takes the mark on the half-forward flank position on the outer side. Big day for Eric Williams, the Goulburn Valley umpire today. He becomes the first GVL umpire ever to umpire a GVL final, because in the past years we've had the VFL umpires only. So congratulations to Eric Williams, and I'm sure he'll do a great job. On the centre wing in front of the boundary line now, the ball comes over, and we'll wait for the throw-in to take place. It's a really good afternoon for football. It's quite breezy, but I'm sure we're going to see a magnificent day, and the ground at the moment is bathed in sunshine. As the throw-in from the boundary. Reid leaning all over Warburton. The brilliant Cooper, the Morrison medalist, with the ball. Kicks it up towards the Mooroopna half-forward line. To Santarana under it for United. Here's the brilliant Kiddo. Can he pick it up? Leaves way for Mick Power. Power was number 1. It's on the ground, and what's going to happen? Umpire Eric Williams has played a free kick to go to Shepparton United, to go to Gary Kiddo. Kiddo on half-back flank at this stage for United. No score in the first couple of minutes of the game, and we're going to take a while for these players to settle down. Paddy Storer got the ball forward for Mooroopna, receives a free kick from umpire Peter Howe, and he'll take it on the half-back line. Who's leading up forward? Is Storer now with the ball. Not too many to kick to. Kieran Cross has come forward, but big bomber Reid, Darryl Reid's taken the ball on the centre wing, and I'm sure that Mooroopna are looking forward for a big game for this fellow. It'll really depend on how he goes in the air and his ruck duels for them to try and get some ascendancy. Big duel down there between Paul McCarty and young Greg Reynolson. Reynolson will need to be right on his mettle today. Mick Power has the ball for United. Boots it around and over the boundary line and out of bounds. Bad mistake by Mick Power, and it looks like Billy Wong's going to take the kick.
A very big crowd here at Deakin Reserve. I don't believe it's as big as last year. I have an idea that the cloudy conditions from around about 11 o'clock this morning may have kept some people away, but it is a good crowd, a very big crowd, as Billy Wong takes his kick on the centre wing. He's centering it, looking for Warnett at centre half forward, and he finds him too. The former Tatura player had some time with Melbourne Reserves. There's the kick from Warnett. Over there looking for Royce Enders on the wing, and Cooper. Enders gets it, kicks it on the left foot. He slaves away towards goal, and there's the first score on the board for the day, and it's a minor score only to Mooroopna. First blood to Mooroopna. By golly, I'm sure that you could shoot a shotgun up the main street of Mooroopna today and nobody would hear you, because they are all here, and particularly en masse in front of the Shepparton Football Club rooms. There's the kick out from Andrew Parker. Over there looking for Robert Bence, who takes a lovely mark. Very impressed with this player.
Played very well in the second semi-final, Rod. Was really a tower of strength on his flank all day.
There's the kick from Bence. Not a terribly good one over there where Cooper's in the van. Can't handle it. In they go, Billy Wong. He can't either. There's the punch. Once again to Bence. He's going to get his kick. No, he favours the hand pass. Back to Wong. Wong kicks it. Has the chance for a goal, but it's Shepparton United in McCluskey decides that discretion is the better part of valour, and he will handball it through. Well, David, how do you see the first couple of minutes? Are they settling down?
Well, it looks like Morutan have settled down a little bit more quickly than United, Rod. They are doing most attacking into the wind.
Here's the ball now coming out onto half-back flank. McCluskey is there. He's getting into plenty of play in the first couple of minutes for Shepparton United. Towards Truan it goes on the outer side of the ground, number 49 for Shepparton United, but it's over the boundary line and out of bounds. Throw in now. Warburton. Fuller is there, number 18 for United. Can't pick the ball up. Goes in to try and pick it up again. Chance now for Davis. Gets it round towards half-forward line for Morutan. Number 20 is Kieran Cross. And it's over the boundary line and out of bounds, being chased over there by Wally Cashin, is it, on the half-forward flank on the outer side of the ground, and we wait for the throw-in to take place again.
Wally Cashin was up until the last couple of minutes under a cloud, Don, but he is fit to play, which is great to see.
I believe he was to have pain-killing injections just prior to the game, Rod, so that it'd make him fit enough to play. Here's a chance for the Cats. They've got it in their forward line. United trying to defend desperately. Judd is there in 16. There's Power with the ball, number 1. He gets it out to captain coach Blizzard. Boots it down towards centre wing. Who's underneath it? Gary Ralph, the big fellow, number 2, just in front of the scoreboard that reads Morutan 2 behinds and Shepparton United yet to score. Up towards the half-forward line for the United side. Kiddo is there. So too is Linford, number 3 for Morutan. McCluskey again, who's playing well, finds Hicks at centre half-forward, and Hicks should be able to have the opportunity to put this one through, because in a blustery condition, I'm sure that Hicks will feel that he can put this one through. There's not too many players getting in that goal square up there, looking for the short one. Kevin Hicks at centre half-forward for Shepparton United. Coming in now, deliberate left foot kick. High in the air, we'll wait on the goal umpire. He's moved across, and one behind only. One behind to United, 2 behinds to Morutan at the 5-minute mark into the first quarter.
David Coate, how do you see those running players of United? Obviously very dangerous. Hicks and Bicknell and
McCluskey actually doing well on the outer wing at this stage. He picked the ball up nicely there and did a nice short pass to Hicks.
Very pleased to see McCluskey do well. He's a player who's been sort of thereabouts, but basically in the seconds over this part of the season, and I'm really pleased to see him do well. Played a great game last week. One of the big key players for Shepparton United is Gary Kiddo in the centre, and he has the ball now. I think that he could have too much, obviously, height for Linford, and Linford getting on a little bit in years. Up they go. Nobody can handle the ball, and eventually we see it rushed through for a behind. So it's 2 apiece, another goal each, and they'll be level. And that's how we see the first 5 minutes of the 1985 Goulburn Valley League Grand Final. Shepparton United 2 minor scores, and Morutan the same. And United kicking with the aid of the breeze. There's the kick out from
Beautiful
fullback.
Kick from Simon Baldwin, Rod.
Yes, Baldwin is kicking out. Darvanese was actually selected at fullback, and I think there's been either a switch there or Baldwin maybe kicking out. Umpire Howe with the ball on the United half-forward line. Reid goes up. Nice tap from Reid looking for Cooper, but Blizzard sharks it. And then Cooper eventually gets it again. What a great player. Here's Spencer, son of Jock. Spencer out of bounds. Not a good kick from Marcus Spencer. And very laconic type of effort there. Could have put more into it, David Coe.
Yes, he could have kicked it longer. Roddy's a beautiful long kick. I thought he might have kicked it long into the goal square.
Well, the kick's to be taken by Morutan coach Chris Smith, who decides to go for the centre of the ground. Who's underneath it? Linford gives the player a push. Play on, says umpire Howe. Here's Trionitis coming in with the ball, but the umpire has played it Morutan's way, and it's going to go to Leo Darvanese. Darvanese moves the ball in towards centre half forward. Up go the big fellows. Reynoldson tried to knock away, couldn't get it. Who's comes out? Judd is there. Here's a chance for Power for Shepparton United. He's number 1. Can't get the ball. It comes to the ground. A push, says the umpire, and the free kick will go to Andrew Parker, the fullback for the Shepparton United side, being paid the kick. Parker boots the ball around towards centre wing. Knocking it over is Warburton, but the umpires have paid a free, and apparently there was some infringement there against Reid, I think it was, and the free kick's to be taken by young Gavin Truan. He's a fine for Shepparton United, this player, as he boots it out towards half forward on the outer side of the ground. It's not a bad game of football at this stage. Here's a chance for Anselmi for Morutan. He's in the van, falls over, nobody can pick it up. Linford comes in, the centre man. He knocks it all on towards the Glenn Davis direction. Davis shoots it out of the pack towards Kieran Cross, but it's picked up by Judd from the Shepparton United side. Boots it back towards the half forward line. Over towards the boundary line it goes. Bicknell, who is a sharp little rover, this fellow. Boots it in towards, up goes the big fellow.
McLeod.
Yes, he's the player that can really take the forward line apart. And that's Darryl McLeod, who's taken a very nice mark for Shepparton United. Played very well last week in their preliminary final win. And I'm sure that United are looking for big things for Darryl McLeod. He comes in, he'd be 50 metres out, and he's put that one through. First blood on the board as far as goals are concerned for Shepparton United, and they go to 1 goal, 2-8, and Mooroopna are 2 behinds.
Yes, a great mark by Darryl McLeod there. He's only a young player, but he has got the ability to take a beautiful mark and kicked very accurately on that occasion also.
I think Smith might have felt that one too, as McLeod got right into his back as he took it.
Yes, he looked like he was going to have it quite comfortably, Smithy, but McLeod came over the top.
Right umpire Peter Howe from the VFL in charge of the ball at the moment. A beautiful bounce too. Warburton having his hands full there, but he gets a tap on that occasion. Here's Trionitis with it in the centre, and the umpire's picked out a free kick to Gary Kiddo, the centreman. Kiddo's kick up into the half-forward flank. Smith is there once again. McLeod almost pulls down another one. Play on, they say. Or player ridden to the ground, and the umpire saw it there. And it's going to be Chris Smith, the captain coach, the man who has led Mooroopna so magnificently this year. And he will take it at almost the true centre half-back position. Smith now favours the scoreboard side on the Wilbur Shillington scoreboard. And there's the punch away once again by McCluskey, looking for Truan. He grabs it, turns around beautifully, does the Assumption College schoolboy, and he puts it up forward, but Mooroopna are in defence, doing it very nicely. And no, they've lost it, and here's McLeod having a snap at goal, and he looks like he's done it well, and he has. By gee, this has been a good move to put McLeod on for a start. Great move by Blizzard.
Yes, he picked that up nicely. United seem to be getting to the fall of the ball a little bit better than Mooroopna at this stage. The United fellas seem to be getting to the packs and capitalising on the punching away from behind.
Great to see so many of these players in both of these sides have come through their juniors. I'm involved in the Goulburn Valley Schoolboys football team, and there's something like 13 or 14 of the former Schoolboys players in both of these sides here today, and it's great to see the young fellows coming good. From the bounce, Judd gets met very solidly, and too high, says umpire Eric Williams, and he's going to receive a free kick almost in the centre of the ground, and it's Teddy Judd for Shepparton United. Boots the ball up towards the half-forward line. Ralph gets underneath, gets a neat little push from Chris Smith, uses all his experience, hand passing around the outer side through Pat Storer. Storer's kick onto centre wing, and also finds Royce Enders it out there on the outer side of the ground. Boots the ball up towards centre half-forward. Underneath it is Robson. 14 for United is Trionitis. He's being grabbed hold of. The umpire says play on as Bruce Fuller kicks the ball back towards the centre of the ground. Up goes Ralph. It's all Mooroopna though. Enders kicks the ball forward again. Cooper gets underneath it, tries to knock it on. Andrew Parker, the fullback for United, runs straight into Ian Linford. Beautiful tackle by the Fox. And Ian Linford will take the kick at centre half forward. Looks for a short one. And the umpire has said, what's going on now? We've got two umpires doing a bit of... the umpire is remonstrating with Andrew Parker. That's umpire Peter Howe. Meanwhile, umpire Eric Williams has paid a free kick, and I think it's to Mick Warnett.
Yes, it is. Michael Warnett about to take it. Very good chance of putting the first goal on the board for Mooroopna. Well, it'll have to be a pretty reasonable kick against the breeze. He's not a bad kick, Warnett. It's falling short. Big chance for Mooroopna to get in there, but they can't. It's very finely put out by Mick Power for Shepparton United over to Truan, who's come down from the wing. There's Truan onto the right boot, out in front of the scoreboard, sees Fuller and finds Fuller in a fine style. Fuller plays on. Young Bruce Fuller, there's the kick, up into the half-forward line. Oh, there's nobody about but Turlick almost pulls in a beauty. In fact, he's been paid. Great mark, David Coe.
Beautiful mark. He was running with the flight of the ball and took a very good mark. They've United have switched Turlick to full forward from the centre half forward position, with Ralph going out to centre half forward on Smith.
They're certainly keeping the forward line wide open, aren't they?
Yes, yeah.
United.
And McLeod's out in the half forward flank after taking a couple of good marks at full forward.
Well,
Turlick's put it through.
They're kicking straight. There's no doubt about that. And there's young Dallas Turlick. He's only a slip of a lad. There's not much of him. And he put Shepparton United's third goal on the board. And this is a great start by United.
The United backline doing a fine job, particularly the half backline. For United, and Mick Power in the back pocket being a tower of strength at this stage.
Interesting to note, most of the commentators appear to have selected Mooroopna. I know from the Shepparton News, Tom Carey and Trevor Dayton selected United, but the other four men having a pick, Les Cranage, Bill Ludlow, Noel Hussey and Bill McCarthy all went for Mooroopna. David Coate and I have gone for Mooroopna, and what about yourself, Don?
Yes, I selected Mooroopna. They certainly must start as favourites, but United have really started this game on fire. Here's the boy from the full back line, and Andrew Parker, kicking the ball out towards half-back, but Bence falls over when he was in a great position, and it's been knocked over the boundary line and out of bounds for the throw-in. It was Marcus Spencer, actually, who knocked the ball over. Who's in ruck? Warburton coming in against Kieran Cross. Warburton leans all over him. Cross gets the knockdown. Cashin is there. Nice kick, Cashin, giving them more. It's gone really high. Reynolson gets underneath it to the ground. The Santa Ana is there for United, and so too is Wally Cashin, but the ball gets kicked away and the free kick goes to George Trionitis, one of the top players in the Shepparton United side. Magnificent player, always kicks the ball well, does so on this occasion, down towards centre. Storer. Patrick Storer, the Shepparton Police Constable, goes up and takes a beautiful mark on centre wing, kicks it back towards centre half forward. McCarty is under it. It's knocked forward. McCarty takes a nice mark. Young Reynolson got right onto him there, but he was able to knock the ball in front of him, take it on the third bite of the cherry, takes it out here towards Keith Robson, and Robson takes the mark around about 50 metres out from goal in front of Judd on the half-forward flank. Well, can Robson convert to put Mooroopna's first goal on the board? There it is. He's allowed for the breeze. It's not a bad kick. Dropping down, a mark to Shepparton United. Umpire Peter Howe says Andrew Parker, who's playing very well at centre, at full-back, David, at the moment.
Yes, he's not allowing Pert any room at all. He's backing his judgment and going very well.
There's a kick from Parker, out into the half-back flank, looking for Spencer. He pushes it away, and all the Shepparton United with Little Bicknell coming in, centering the ball, and Speech just wanted. Here comes the Fox. Linford can't control it. Eventually Kiddo with the punch, out into the half-forward flank. Here comes Anselmi. Can't handle it as well. And here's McLeod again. He's into it. Takes the soccer kick and it rolls just behind. And we see a minor score. That would have been a very good goal for Shepparton United. They took the ball forward very quickly.
I think it's a free kick to United.
It is a free kick.
Yes,
I didn't see it.
The umpire signalled that he copped one behind the back of the head.
Well, here's McLeod, runs around, and it was touched. It was touched. That was a cardinal sin by McLeod. He had every chance. Then well done, Simon Baldwin. Tall player, and he moved forward a little as McLeod kicked and was able to touch the ball, so we see a minor score. And
I thought it was good play, Rod, by Simon Baldwin there on that occasion, because he had the chance to kick a goal without any trouble. Shepparton
United go to 3-3, and Mooroopna are 2 points as we see the ball now under the centre wing and looking for Warnett, Mooroopna, but a lovely mark taken by Fuller. He plays on over to no man's land, and we await a throw-in. We've played 16 minutes into the first quarter, and United are doing it quite well.
Yes, and we're busy looking for best players, Rod, for that $300 award with the compliments of Ross Freer and Shepparton Toyota, and there's plenty of good players out there at this stage of the game.
Rather fitting, sorry Don, rather fitting that Ross Freer from Shepparton Toyota is giving the prize, because Ross is a Mooroopna boy and he also played football with Shep United.
Played with both sides. Here's the brilliant Morrison medalist Gary Cooper with the ball on the outer side of the ground. He'll pick a short one, or it hasn't been directed well at all. Judd has made a mess of it also. It comes to the ground, and umpire Howe will probably... No, it's come out of the mire. Here's a chance for Mooroopna. Can Cross do anything with it? Gets the hand pass over. Bence it is who picks it up, but it's smothered well. The United backline are playing particularly well, but Spencer runs straight into trouble as the ball is right on the boundary line, and we wait for the throw-in. 3 goals, 3 Shepparton United, 21 points. Mooroopna are 2 behinds.
Boundary umpire in control of things now, and in Mooroopna's forward line, they must score here. They must convert. Haven't been doing it well lately, although... that was against you, Darryl Reid. You saw it. No need to describe it. No, it wasn't. It was... he picked a free out to Bence. David, did you see that?
He told Richard Orban that he was shepherding. He was leaning back onto Darryl, so he played the free to Darryl Reid.
Fair decision. So there's the kick from Reid. Not a terribly good one from the bomber. Up there looking for the big players up forward. There's nobody there. They're not signalling Pert out at the present time. Here's a chance with Cashin, the bulldozer, and he kicks a point. Hit the post. Gee, that was bad luck from the little fella. He's one of the most exciting players in Goulburn Valley League, is Wally Cashin, and it was very bad luck that he missed that one. And it's a point only, of course. Mooroopna to go to 3 points. United starting off well, 3 goals, 3. Deakin Reserve bathed in sunshine. Magnificent condition is the reserve today. And we're seeing a very big crowd witnessing this Goulburn Valley League Grand Final. A big welcome to you wherever you may be here this afternoon at Deakin Reserve. I believe that there's a man in hospital in Shepparton who is an avid Mooroopna fan and will be watching today. Les Griggs in hospital, I believe has had a serious operation, and a big cheerio to you, Les, and hope that you enjoy the broadcast this afternoon.
Well, Blizzard's doing well for Shepparton United, getting the ball off in towards their attacking zone, but Glenn Davis sends the ball back towards the United goal. Up they go. It's knocked down by the Santa Ana. What's going to happen here? United are not able to repel it. And Chris, there's trouble on behind play. Chris Smith and Gary Ralph have been having a few words, and Eric Williams has taken the book out and has reported Chris Smith. Eric Williams, the umpire, has reported Smith behind play.
A bit of strife down the other end too.
Down the other end of the ground, Reid has gone to the ground. Now, Reid has a problem, the fact that his knee locks up at times, and that maybe this is what's happened to Darryl Reid. He has a problem with his knee, and the trainers seem to know how to be able to relieve it.
Yes, that looks like it. You saw there on the replay, and that's exactly what happened, I'd say, because Reid was in a very good position to take the mark. However, he wasn't able to handle the ball, and when he went down, his leg obviously did lock up. And I would say there would be very few people on Deakin Reserve, Don, who picked that out. Well done, because that's as far as Chris Smith's report, because I'm sure that most people were watching the flight of the ball, and they did not realise that there was a bit of an altercation there between Smith and Ralph.
Yes, I suddenly saw Eric Williams dash towards the United half-forward line and speak to Smith and pull out the book straight away. You didn't see it, David?
No.
Well, there's the kick now, because
15-yard penalty also. Which
it was a 15-metre penalty against Shepparton United, and it was taken by Royce Enders, and that was obviously the rule where if a player cannot take his kick, then it must go to another player.
That's right. The umpire ruled that Reid was handled against once he took the mark.
So it's Royce Enders putting the first major score on the board for Mooroopna. They trail United. United 3 goals 3-21 to Mooroopna 1 goal 3-9. And there's been a lot happening here in the first 20 minutes of play in the Goulburn Valley League Grand Final.
And the big Mooroopna crowd roars as Darryl Reid has been able to take his place back on. The trainers obviously have relieved that situation. Back in the centre of the ground. A chance for Ralph. Gets it over now to captain coach Blizzard. The umpires have paid a free. And Peter Howe says, Craig Blizzard, it's your kick for the Shepparton United side. Blizzard towards centre half forward. Turlick is there. Nobody can take it. Here's a chance for Bicknell, number 23, on the ground, but relieving it is Billy Wong out there. Over it goes to Simon Baldwin. Chance now for Anselmi to Cooper. Cooper plays it on, up forward. Who's there? Oh, beautiful play, Billy Wong. He's got out away from Mick Power, screws it around, and we'll wait for the goal umpire. One behind only, as the Mooroopna people really felt that they had a chance for another goal there. 3 goals 3 United, and it's 1 goal 4 now to Mooroopna.
Mooroopna look very good once they get the ball, don't they? They move it very well. They always seem to have the player on their own, and if United do want to win this game, I believe they've got to work really hard once Mooroopna get the ball to man up.
Andrew Parker playing in his second season with Shepparton United, puts it out, not a well-directed kick because it's Cashin who gets it. He loses it eventually to Fuller. Fuller played in last year's grand final. The kick's a hooray punt, or as we know up Katamatite way, a Makatar punt, and it goes to Mooroopna with Bence. Bence's hand pass looking for Cross. Hot potato from him to Enders. Enders finds Billy Wong. Oh, silly play, Bruce Fuller. Don, you mentioned this to me. Bruce Fuller does a lot of stupid things, and that is typical, and that deserves a goal. Silly play, Bruce Fuller.
Yes, there was no need to do that because Wong had taken the mark. It's now cost him 15 metres and probably a certain goal from Wong, where in the position that he was before, it was certainly not a certainty that he'd put it through. I hope he doesn't make a liar out of me. Bill Wong with the ball for Mooroopna. There it is. It's screwing across, but I think it's right. Yes, 3 for full points. Bill Wong, first goal for him for Mooroopna, and they go to 2 goals 4, and Shepparton United are 3 goals 3 at the 24-minute mark of the first quarter.
Yes, a good bit of play there to get the ball out quickly by Enders to Wong. Got it onto the boot very quickly, and Wong certainly capitalised on that 15-yard penalty. Players can't afford to give those penalties away in a tight situation of a grand final.
I'm a bit surprised that there's not a message gone out from the bench, David. I thought that there would have been something said there by the coaching panel.
Perhaps Mick Power in the back pocket had a word to him.
In the dying stages of the first quarter at Deakin Reserve, the bounce goes United's way, and it's Kiddo. And lovely mark taken there on this occasion by Leo Darvanese, playing in the back pocket now. And Simon Baldwin moved to full back. There's Darvanese's kick into the true centre of the ground, missed by Robson, but almost picked up by Bence, who's playing a great game of football for Mooroopna. He loses control of it. Truan has it, number 49. Racing through is Truan, but not a well-directed kick. Eventually, it goes to Trionitis. There's the Golden Greek. There's the kick up there looking for his forward. But, oh, beautifully taken by Jack Anselmi. Playing a very good game in the back pocket. Finds Storer, who can't control it. Hicks it is, the former Patterson medalist, who picks it up and kicks crookedly. And, in fact, it will be out of bounds. And the boundary umpire says it was on the full. And we wait for a free kick to come from Simon Baldwin in front of the Shepparton United Football Club rooms. And most of the fans segregated here at Deakin Reserve, which can be very good as far as the police are concerned, because most of the United fans are in front of the United grandstand, and the Marupna fans are packing the Shepparton grandstand as Robson goes forward, and it's Reynoldson who can't mark it. Eventually Judd, he's met very solidly. Play on, says the umpire, and it's Bence who, you should have got rid of it, son. Good decision, umpire. And we'll see young Greg Reynoldson, 17-year-old schoolboy, who takes the kick. Former Goulburn Valley schoolboy. Orr Smith interfered then, and the umpire saw it. He was right on the job, umpire Peter Howe, and it's the vice-captain of United to take the kick in Gary Ralph.
Ralph's kick up towards half forward. Bicknell's there looking for the crumbs. Comes out Marupna's way. Here's a chance now as it comes towards Cooper. Cooper is able to get the ball up towards centre wing. Fuller is underneath it. There's a chance for Cooper again. He's followed it up magnificently, but it's been knocked back by Judd. It's kicked off the ground by Royce Enders. Enders got it forward. McCarty is there in front of Reynoldson and has taken the mark. What a big job United have given Reynoldson to look after a magnificent player like McCarty. But up towards the full forward is a goal for Marupna. Bence has put it through. Well done, Robert Bence, as he's put his first goal on the board, and that puts the Cats in front.
Yes, very courageous mark by Robert Bence, coming the same way as the fire of the ball. Had Parker bearing down on top of him. Didn't take his eyes off the ball. As we see there, just ran straight through and kicked the goal. Perhaps Gary Cooper started that play from the half-back line, followed up very well.
The way that he followed it up was magnificent, but what I liked was the way that Bence anticipated beautifully coming down from the wing. That was
and the courage shown was
tremendous
great.
courage. No, that was a great effort by Robert Bence, and thoroughly deserved that goal. And we've got a real football game on our hands here at Deakin Reserve for the 1985 Grand Final as Ted Judd bursts through the pack. There's the kick on the right foot. It's a good one too, looking for Turlick. Turlick's gone too far. Almost a lovely mark taken by Baldwin, but eventually it's picked up by United and Anselmi. The kick from Anselmi looking for Royce Enders, but it's picked up by McCluskey, and Clucker goes for goal, but is ill-directed down the United end, and the sign says never say die, Demons. Well, they've had a pretty good quarter so far, and we will await, as it was on the full, for the kick out from Anselmi. Courageous little player, Anselmi, and he sees Enders. Enders can't control it, and perhaps took it a little bit too easy there on that occasion.
While United perhaps could be happy with their quarter, it must be remembered they've got the win, so they'll need to finish this quarter a couple of goals in front at least to be happy with the quarter.
And at 26 minutes into the last quarter, it's going to be difficult to see if they do, but here's a chance for McCluskey. He picks the ball up, nowhere to go, centres it eventually, but there's Pat Storer in the van, or should have taken it easy, but he decides to play on. And we see a free kick, and it's going to Gary Ralph. Or is it? No, it must have been interference. Had the glasses on there and couldn't see at the time. But we've got Storer now centering it to Billy Wong. Well done, Marcus Spencer. Spencer, will you pick it up? Yes, he does. He's met solidly by Anselmi. Nowhere to go, Spencer. Eventually elects to kick it on the left foot, right in front of the goal, the teeth of goal. And it's Darvanese to relieve in the true back pocket position for Marupna. The umpire says give him a few metres, Darryl McLeod, and he goes back and waits for it. Here's the kick. No. Once again, umpire Howe decides that he must have another kick. Didn't see that, David. I didn't see the
No, he didn't kick over the mark.
Over the mark.
Right. Yes, he's got to kick out towards the far side.
3 goals 4, plays 3 goals 3. 27 minutes into the first quarter. By the way, we have statistician Ian Fitzsimmons doing a fine job for us this afternoon. He's on our staff here today, and we'll await to see who's got the kicks and the marks in the first quarter in just a few minutes. There's Chris Smith with the kick now. Up goes Billy Wong, playing well as Billy Wong. He's a true ruck rover, this fella, and he can do just about anything if he puts his mind to it. Wong's kick over is looking at centre-half forward for McCarty, but coming out was Power. Gee, he's playing well in defence. Ball eludes players, but Smith's slung to the ground. Umpire says play on. Fuller with the hand pass to
Trionitis, it was to
Bicknell.
Bicknell.
Trionitis to Bicknell, and Bicknell makes no mistake, and that was a good goal about this time. As David said, they needed it, and little Ashley Bicknell came in beautifully coming out from the forward flank.
Yes, and good play by Ralph. Smith had the ball, and Ralph tackled him very well to knock it to the ground, and Trionitis was able to capitalise and give it out to Bicknell, who in usual style finished it off brilliantly around the goals.
Pretty tough customer is Gary Ralph. Won the best and fairest medal in the Murray League when he went up and had a coaching stint at Newmerker a couple of years ago, but came back to the fold from whence he came with Shepparton United. He's played all his junior football there. Warburton doing quite well in ruck at the present time, and the umpire says, I'll give Warburton the chance. No, it's not. It's Kiddo, who's doing very well in the centre, and he's had too much for Linford on this occasion. Kiddo with the short pass, and Ralph was there yards in front, or should I say metres in front of Smith. Awkward looking kicking style from Ralph is a beauty, and up they go, and it's a goal. No, it's not. Now that was not touched by any player, and almost from the centre of the ground. Gary Ralph could have scored a major then, but it was a minor score, and the Shepparton United score goes on to 4-4, leading Mooroopna 3-3, and it's just on full time in the first quarter of the 1985 Goulburn Valley League Grand Final before a big crowd here at Deakin Reserve Shepparton. Kiddo has the ball out in front of him, pushes it over to probably over the boundary line. It's a long way over there. We'll have to get the glasses out. And yes, we wait a throw in. And Warburton is there. So too is Pert. Pert's come out for a run on the ball. And that ball went to Enders, who gets a funny kick out, and McCarty can't trap it in. Eventually it's picked up by Cashin. There's the true Cashin fashion. He goes forward in fine style. Reed's having a spell in the forward line, can't pick it up. Players pushed over there, and she's on again. Parker and Warburton has been fists flying everywhere there. And in fact, it's on for young and old. They're not holding, no holds barred there. Darryl Reed says, let me at him, fellas. And the umpire has got the book out. The book is out again. Parker's got it this time. David, you saw it?
Oh yes, it's a long way away, Rod, but I think both players were pretty well involved. It's interesting to see Reed's got the free kick, however.
Yes.
So Parker obviously interfered with Reed.
Well, Parker's earnt the pencil, and Darryl Reed clapped the back. Umpire Howe is just taking Reed's number, so we've got two in the books now. Well, one is Chris Smith. His number was taken a few minutes ago, and now Andrew Parker, the fullback for Shepparton United. Pretty rugged customer is Darryl Bomber Reed. He's not a bad kick for goal when he's on target. There's the kick from Reed, and it looks good. It is one of Mooroopna's favourite sons, kicks a goal to put their fourth on the board for Mooroopna. Well done, Darryl Reed, and showed his experience there.
Yes, and I think that's the third goal United have got from free kicks on that full back line. So, you know, that could be something that Craig Blizzard says to his backmen at quarter time, to be a little bit more careful around the goals with the free kicks.
Ball in centre. There's the bounce. And at cage, it's taken by Pert. Coming through is Judd. Can't handle it. Billy Wong has been manhandled. Could have received a free kick, but didn't. And umpire Eric Williams, right on the siren, will bounce it. No, he won't. And that's the situation. It's even Stevens at quarter time. 4-4 apiece in the 1985 Grand Final from Deakin Reserve. It's quarter time at Deakin Reserve Shepparton. 4-4 apiece, Mooroopna and United. And David Code, you've got statistics from Ian Fitzsimmons, and who are the best kick getters for each team?
Yes, just quickly, Rod, from Mooroopna, Gary Cooper has 7, and a number of players with 5, Storer, Enders, and Selmy and Darryl Reed. And for United, they're major kick getters. Gavin Troon with 5, Gary Kiddo with 5, and a number of players on 4.
Well, it wasn't a bad start for United, but perhaps they should have kicked more because they were kicking with the breeze.
Yes, I thought United settled down very well early. They got to a 2 or 3 goal lead, and were using the wind quite well. But then Mooroopna steadied, they fought back and were able to level the scores. And United, both teams actually scored goals in that time on period. Early, United seemed to have more players around the full of the ball than Mooroopna, but Mooroopna ended up settling down and playing quite a good quarter against the wind.
Well, it's a big game here at Deakin Reserve Shepparton before a big crowd, and we'll be back for the second quarter of this big, exciting grand final after this commercial break from the station. Players have broken up from their huddles, and we're about to go in the second quarter. Goal kickers for the various teams. For Mooroopna, Billy Wong, Darryl Reid, Royce Enders and Robert Bence each have 1. And for Shepparton United, Darryl McLeod, who started beautifully, has 2, and Ashley Bicknell and Dallas Turlick have 1 each. Just quickly, a couple of players who have played very well today. Robert Bence, I'm impressed with for Mooroopna at the moment.
Yes, he had a very good quarter on the wing, actually. Both Mooroopna wingers, Enders and Bence, played very well.
And those comments coming, of course, today from David Code, the dual Morrison medalist and currently the assistant coach of the Tatura Football Club. And we're very pleased to have David with us today. And $300 award will go to the player of the day. And umpire Howe has the ball now in the centre and will bounce for the second term of the Goulburn Valley Grand Final. It's like Warburton with the tap there and gets the kick resultant from there. In comes McLeod onto the right foot, and Smith is there at centre half back for Mooroopna, and we believe Smith has been reported, as we mentioned earlier, and also Parker for Shepparton United.
I might get some confirmation on that at half-time if I can, Rod, on those reports at this stage. There's a chance now for Mooroopna to clear the ball away. Billy Wong it is, who was on top of the ball, and umpire Eric Williams has decided to pay a free kick. Now he's going to ball it up. He's balling up right on the point of the square towards the United forward line. Knocked away by Glenn Davis, and Pat Storer leads in the race for the ball, but it's over the boundary line and out of bounds, and umpire Kevin Boyler to throw the ball back into play. The Goulburn Valley umpire panel in the goals and boundaries, and for the senior umpires, 1 VFL umpire, which of course is Peter Howe, and Eric Williams represents the Goulburn Valley Umpire Association. Eric's been in Melbourne all week, showing Jersey cattle at the Melbourne show, and trained with the VFL umpires during the week and is in very fit condition at this stage and doing very well. He umpired the seconds preliminary final last week and did an excellent job, and it's great to see him become the first Goulburn Valley umpire to umpire a GVL Grand Final. Here's Eric Williams bouncing the ball now in the Simon Baldwin direction, knocks it down to Royce Enders. He's playing pretty well, Enders, gathering a few kicks late in the first quarter. Kieran Cross wasn't able to take it. Jarded is with United with the ball. It comes to the ground. Here's Linford. Linford boots it up towards centre half forward. Who's under it? Cashin. Cashin knocks the ball forward. Well done, Wally Cashin. It comes to the ground. De Santana is the player to kick the ball back for Shepparton United. And Linford comes across in front of Wong to take the mark. Play on. Linford boots it forward. Who's underneath it? Nobody can take it. Leeds looking for it, and the umpire has played it.
Yes, he's paid the mark. It was a good effort from Darryl Reid. What do you think, David? Would you have paid that?
I think it was a fraction lucky. I don't know whether we'll see it on the replay, but he certainly got in front and used his body well. And if you're in front, you are a chance. So you've got to work to get in that front position, which Darryl Reid did.
Yes, he's been a tower of strength. There it is there. Well, it was a touch and go, that one. Been a tower of strength from Mooroopna over the years, and he shows his experience there. And his leg is locked again as he kicks a goal. That's amazing. No, he seems to be okay now, but a good effort. That's Darryl Reid's second goal, and it was a great start to the second quarter as Mooroopna now moved to 5 goals 4, leading United 4 goals 4. United, of course, played last year in the grand final and lost it to Tongala, which was the second of their back-to-back premierships, and Tongala bowed out in the preliminary final here last week. And in fact, they were well and truly beaten by Shepparton United, who must have their confidence up quite a bit today after that big effort.
So you can see Baldwin's in the ruck from Mooroopna and Pert down at full-back.
Yes, they're changing a deal at the moment, Mooroopna. There's Trionitis with the hand pass to Truan. Eventually his hand pass to Kiddo, who
well tapped
virtually taps it over to Spencer. He's looking for Turlick, who goes too high. Beautifully done is Pert. He's a great footballer, this fellow. Brother of Fitzroy's Gary Pert, by the way, as Anselmi comes out of defence, and Cooper flies high. Can't handle it. Warburton's in there. He's pushed. Or Cooper goes in, showing...
too high, said umpire Williams.
Yes, I think it was a little bit too, and Warburton takes it onto the left foot, looking for Hicks. Ill-directed. Here's Cooper with a chance again, and here's Wong as well. Anselmi, oh, well done Anselmi, puts it over to Storer. The hand passes are going well, and here comes Linford. You're too slow. Eventually the ball goes over to where it's run over by Warnett and picked up by McCluskey. McCluskey to Fuller. He gets dealt with as he kicks it, and it's good defence from Mooroopna as they come out through Wong. Sees the spare player there in Warnett as he goes wide, nobody about. Cashin, the speedster, geez, looks good when he goes, this fella. Falls over, eventually gets out of trouble, falls over again, and he's lost it. and it's picked up by Marcus Spencer of Shepparton United, but the umpire will call a halt to proceedings.
Perhaps holding the ball against Cash and the free kick going to McPower.
He could have probably played the advantage rule there, David, I would have thought. There's the kick from McPower up under the centre half forward looking for Truan.
Glenn Davis again.
Well done by Glenn Davis, who's doing quite well over on that scoreboard side of the ground.
5 goals for Mooroopna, 4 goals for United. We've played 5 minutes into the second quarter, and it's a great game of football here at Deakin Reserve. Here's a chance for United through Trionitis. He's normally a magnificent kick of the ball. Up it goes. Dallas Turlick getting underneath it, being dealt with by Pert. He tries to knock it forward. Here's a chance for them now. He's in trouble. Well tackled by the Mooroopna player. And it's young Craig Anselmi who's going to take the kick from the last line of defence. Well, he's one of the better players today, Anselmi. There's no doubt about that. Looks for Royce Enders on the centre wing. He misses the mark. A chance for Marcus Spencer. He gets tackled beautifully by Smith. Throwing the ball away, says umpire Eric Williams. And Chris Smith, the Mooroopna captain coach, has the ball on the half-back flank.
These umpires are missing very little, David.
No, they're doing a very good job, Rod.
My word, they are. They're right on the ball with any infringement. There's the kick from Smith out to the centre, or they go high. Somebody's marked it and he's given it to McCarty. What a great player this lad is. He this year won the Shepparton News Award and thoroughly deserved it. The kick from McCarty
kicked 100
goes
goals.
a little short. Yes, kicked 100. And is Cashin. Cashin has a chance for goal and he's kicked it. Oh, well done, Wally. The dynamic little player. I'm so pleased to see him in the Mooroopna team today, despite his injury. And for those people who did not hear, Wally decided to go for a rabbiting expedition last week, seeing Mooroopna weren't playing, and he managed to gash himself in the leg with a knife and caused about 6 stitches to be put into the leg. And I believe that the stitches did open up sometime, so he's had been in a fair bit of pain, but by gee, he'd feel no pain out there right now as Eric Williams bounces the ball, and we're 6 minutes into the second quarter.
And Mooroopna are 2 goals ahead at this stage, up towards the forward line for Mooroopna, but Mick Power is strong in defence. Number 1 there for Shepparton United, boots it out to the outer side of the ground. Truan out there doing battle with Enders. It's on the ground. The free kick is being paid Mooroopna's way. Glenn Davis again gets a kick. He's doing well out there on that half-back flank. Davis boots past the scoreboard up towards half forward. Fuller, number 18, in possession. Can't do much about it. I'll tell you who is doing something about it, and that was Mick Warnett, but United are able to retrieve again to Truan. He's got the ball. He's all class, this fellow. Boots the ball up forward, but doesn't direct it particularly well. In fact, Craig Blizzard fell over, enabling Anselmi to kick the ball out to Cooper. Here they go, the Cats, but Bicknell chips in. Cooper's there again. He's playing well, boots it forward. It's knocked in the air by Warnett. Onto the ground. Here's the chance. Reynolson is claimed. Beautiful tackle, Paul McCarty. And Paul McCarty is going to take the ball at centre half forward. Well, that's the way to win yourself a good free kick.
I had the glasses on him. That was an absolutely perfect tackle. It was a beauty.
Paul McCarty, centre half forward for Mooroopna. Now with the ball. Can he put them 3 goals in front? There's the kick. No problems about that one. That's another goal to Mooroopna to make them go to 7 goals for. Shepparton United 4 goals for. Reminder, of course, that the Mooroopna side are kicking with the breeze, and it's certainly making a difference in their game, David.
Yes, United unfortunately getting caught behind a lot on the forward line, kicking into the wind. They're getting behind their Mooroopna player, so they've got to work at getting in front when they're kicking into the wind. Interesting to see Darryl Reid just hobble off and replaced by Ron Davey.
The ball in the centre of the ground as Bence has it. He loses it, all players pushed over, and that's obviously a Shepparton United free kick. And it's going to go to Gary Kiddo, who's on top of Linford in the centre, although they've had a pretty good duel, I'd say. As Kiddo favours the short. Out there looking for Ralph, his vice-captain. Ralph also looking for a short one. Over to McLeod, and McLeod takes it in front of his opponent. That was a good ball, and the umpire says you'll come back 15. You dealt with him when you shouldn't have, Leo Darvanisa. And Darryl McLeod, the 22-year-old Shepparton United player, will take the kick. Kick for goal. It's not a bad one. No, it's going across. Not what United wanted on this occasion. And the umpire says it was out of bounds on the full. We wait for Pat Storer to put the ball back into play, as he does. Looking for Benson, takes a nice mark, playing very well on that half-back flank wing position. And over to Enders. Enders will kick forward. Who does he see there? All players met, and takes the kick too. And it's Warburton who's coming out from the back line. And no, the umpire says play on. I thought he'd given a free kick, and Cashin's there once again. Pushes it up in the air, and the umpire says you're through it, and he'll play it to Fuller. Fuller on the half-back flank for Shepparton United. 10 minutes into the second quarter, 7 goals for Mooroopna, 4 goals for United. And it's Storer who marks very well over to Robson. Robson goes forward. Tough customer is Robson, looking for Warnett, and he finds Warnett yards in front of his opponent, but he slips at the crucial moment. And here comes Davey, who's on the field, as David mentioned, and kicks a point. So it's a minor score to Shepparton United, to Mooroopna rather. And the scoreboard shows Mooroopna 7 goals, 47 rather, to Shepparton United 4 goals, 26. We wait for Andrew Parker to kick out for Shep United.
Parker with the ball from full back position decides to come on the grandstand side of the ground, and a very nice mark has been taken up there by Mario de Santa Ana, the boy they call Cooch after the de Santa Ana Cooch grass, and Cooch immediately plays the ball in towards the centre. Kiddo is there. Linford pushes him in the back. Play on, says the umpire. Back to Smith, and he can pick it up. Turns around, hand passes towards the direction of Linford, but he couldn't take it. And it's Kevin Hicks who shoots Shepparton United forward, but over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Playing around a bit there, weren't they, Mooroopna?
Yes, they overdid the handball on that occasion.
Waiting for the boundary umpire to put the ball into play. Slightly overcast conditions, but fine weather here today in Shepparton. Smith with the tap. Over to Robson. Robson looks for the pass and then decides to kick. That's better play, Robson. Looking for his centre-half forward, McCarty. He's there, but he's behind. Cashin again. Swings out onto the left foot. Nobody about. Eventually it's Warnett. Picks it up. Looks for the centre. And he centres it beautifully to Kieran Cross. Cross came in very nicely from the half-forward flank there and has a very good chance of putting another goal on the board for Mooroopna.
Yes, good play by Mick Warnett too. Knew he was on the angle and he centred it well into centre-half forward.
Cool, calm and collected play by Mick Warnett. He's had a few kicks too in this quarter.
Yes, although Kieran Cross has been fairly quiet. I think that might be his first kick.
Could be, I'd say. Oh, there's it. It's been put through by Davey off the ground. The umpire says all clear. Yes, it was Ron Davey who's come on as an interchange player to replace Darryl Reid, who hobbled off the ground a few minutes ago, and it was a good goal there for Davey, because the Shepparton United players were caught napping a little bit in the last line of defence. Davey swung round and made no mistake for the Cats.
Mooroopna taking full advantage of the wind at this stage. They've opened up a very handy four-goal lead. So United under a bit of pressure at this stage.
Interestingly enough too, David, Mooroopna have 7 goal kickers in their 8 goals at this stage of the game.
Yes, it looks like Don's voice has given out. I thought mine would give out first, Don. We have Richard Warburton with the ball from an infringement in centre, and we'll end up with Tom Carey calling the game for us a little bit later. But the ball now at centre-half forward. Here's Cooper, has the chance. Put them out of trouble, or Power traps the ball or endeavours to. Here's Truan, the speedster. Nowhere to go. Eventually, going the wrong way. He's taken the ball 20 metres down to the Mooroopna half-forward line and given Cashin the chance, but here's Fuller to relieve. Oh, nowhere. Terrible kick. Cross takes advantage of the situation, and he makes no mistake and puts it through. Well, that was deplorable defence by Shepparton United.
Yes, we had Truan running in the wrong direction. Admittedly, he didn't have anyone running past to give out the handball, but he still ran in the wrong direction, and then Fuller handballed over his head back into the Mooroopna forward line, and Cross capitalised and put it right through the middle.
Well, they're doing it well, Mooroopna, at the moment, and well, no doubt they should do, because they are kicking with the breeze, but they are looking certainly the steadier side at the moment, and when they are going forward, there's no doubt that they're making no bones about the fact that they want to put the ball through the big ones. There's the big punch from Pert, who's doing well in ruck at the moment. Here's Robson, and then to Cooper. Cooper to McCarty, favours the little one to who was previously a very quiet player, and Kieran Cross. He's really come into it. Cross sees Billy Wong all on his own. Now, where's the United defence? It's a rabble at the moment. Billy Wong got out on his own. There was nobody within a bull's roar of him, and Wong has the chance to put his second goal on the board. By the way, Darryl Reid is the only player to kick 2 goals so far for Mooroopna. There's the kick from Billy Wong. It's almost there. It's been marked in the last line of defence by Andrew Parker. Difficult job Parker has at the moment. It looks like there's been another change. Perhaps Warnett might be playing at full forward for Mooroopna. Is that right, David?
Yes,
Can you pick it up?
Looks like Warnett's at full forward, and Davies on the flank.
Almost marked by McCluskey. Here's Cashin for Mooroopna. The little players are doing it well, and he says that he's been manhandled, and no, it's a United kick to Santa Ana, looking for Blizzard, who's been relatively quiet today. He's been met pretty solidly by the captain coach in Chris Smith, but he gets the kick and the 15-metre resultant free. Umpire Howell blows the whistle, and he puts a stop on play and waits for Blizzard to take the kick. Robson on the mark. Who's he looking for? Nobody there except Ralph right out on the wing. He favours the centre half forward position where McLeod's there. Tools down a beauty. Not paid, yes it is. Nicely done, Darryl McLeod, and nicely kicked by Captain Coach Craig Blizzard, who picked him out there. There's a kick from McLeod, an awkward looking one. Up into the centre half forward position. The big men are there. Oh, it's all Marutna, and a beautiful mark taken there in defence by Storer, is it, or Pert? And that was a lovely mark. In fact, there was two of them almost could have had it. And that was Baldwin, sorry. And Baldwin moves to Anselmi, who's playing well in defence. And the Marutna players are pretty steady at the present time. He going into the centre is Anselmi looking for Pert. Pert taps it on beautifully to Cooper. He eludes a couple of opponents and looks for the hand pass. Linford's there. So too is DeSanta Anna for Marutna, for United, and McCarty from Marutna. Coming out is Truant. It goes to Blizzard. Blizzard looking for the hand pass to Warburton. Eludes Warburton. Here's Pert again. Nobody can clearly take the ball out. It's about time we saw a ball up. Well, no, in fact, it's a free kick, and it's been paid to Marutna, and it goes to
Glenn Davis.
Davis, yes. David puts the hand pass. No, not holding on at all. He goes on to Cooper. Now here's Power. Chance for Power to get rid of it. Oh, he's trapped and probably... no, we're going to have a ball up. Power could almost have given away a free kick there. But the umpire elects a ball up in the Marutna forward line. The bounce. Up goes Davey. Over to Robson. Robson's there, looking for somebody with the hand pass, and it's Enders. The kick from Enders. It's going right into the deep forward defensive zone, the defensive zone from United. And eventually it's Mick Power who's in there. So too is Davey, tackling very hard. And eventually it's picked up by Fuller for Shepparton United. Over around towards the scoreboard wing. Truan's there. It eludes him, and Robson looks for the pass over to a teammate and does it beautifully. And eventually it's Marutna player in Kieran Cross, who's come right into the game in the last 5 minutes to take the kick on the half-forward flank for Marutna.
There's the kick from Cross in towards centre half forward. Up goes Warnett, and he's been able to pull a very nice mark down. Gee, they're going well at the moment, Marutna, and Mick Warnett could have the opportunity to kick another major for Marutna. 9 goals, 5, 59 the Cats, leading Shepparton United, 4 goals, 4, 28. And you're watching Goulburn Valley League Grand Final direct from Deakin Reserve Shepparton, live on Channel 6 Sport. There's the kick from Mick Warnett, and has hit the post, and so Marutna go to 9 goals, 6, 60 to Marutna, 4, 4, 28.
Yes, Marutna going very well, Don. They're teaming together very well. They're tapping the ball out to each other, and generally playing very well on that forward line.
It's 18 minutes into the second quarter, and United have not scored this quarter. It's been all Marutna, but here's a player who's doing well for United. There's no doubt about that in Gary Kiddo. What a tireless player he is. Kiddo looks for the short, almost plays backwards. Not good play from Kiddo, but it goes to Ralph. Ralph looking for the short into Blizzard, or is it Hicks? Hicks eventually with the mark, looking for the pass from Power, from Reynoldson rather. Reynoldson cops one behind the ear, and it's downfield, and it's going to go to Marcus Spencer, who's a prolific kicker of the ball when he gets onto it. And no, it's
just watching behind play, Rod. Peter Howell is chasing Paul McCarty back towards the goals and pointing the finger at him. McCarty is
he's pulled the book out,
being a little bit cheeky, and he has now pulled the book out, and looks like he has booked McCarty back in the centre half back position. He wanted to warn McCarty, and McCarty ran away from him. Meanwhile, Spencer has kicked a goal. So actually that cost Shepparton United a goal.
Probably won't do his chance at the tribunal very good either. Don running away from the field umpire like that.
Umpire Howe's not going to take that sort of thing lying down, that's for sure. Well, that was an interesting one. I must confess I didn't see what happened, but the infringement was obviously there, and it's we think the third player to be put in the book today is Paul McCarty.
Basically, Rod, he gave young Reynoldson a smack in the ear after Reynoldson had kicked the ball, and umpire Howe was right on the... That's the beauty of this two-umpire system. Howe was right on it there and saw it.
I doubt it was a reportable offence, though.
Judd breaking away from the pack, and a chance now for Billy Wong to kick Marutna forward. Under the ball was Cooper. He couldn't take it. Reynoldson again. Brother of the Geelong player, Stephen Reynoldson. Gets it up towards the centre of the ground. Chris Smith, with the helmet on, is there for Marutna. Takes the free kick and looks to see who's going to kick up. He's going to kick up towards the forward line. Ronnie Davey is there. So too is Keith Robson. Who's going to get the ball for Marutna? There's the big kick by the brilliant Smith. Up in the air it goes. It's knocked forward. It's Kieran Cross, Mick Warnett underneath it. It's on the ground. Reynolson is there again for United. Nobody can kick it up. Oh, it eventually comes out to Davey. He puts the ball onto his boot, up towards goal. The Santarena is there, and it's knocked through for one behind, and that's another point on the board to the Mooroopna side.
I think Mooroopna might be playing United might be playing a loose man in defence in Ralph. They've moved him away from centre half forward and put him down loose on the half back line, I think.
Parker with the ball to put it back into play. 9 goals, 7 Mooroopna, 5 goals for United. Doing it pretty well, the Cats, at this stage. Have not won a Goulburn Valley League premiership since 1938, and I have no doubt that probably the bigger part of the crowd here today that are not Mooroopna supporters will probably be hoping for a Mooroopna win. United have had plenty of chances over the years and have been a very successful club. Here's Cashin, the racehorse, onto the right foot, and it's Parker to take it. Although he didn't mark it, yes, it's been paid as a pull, and he pulled him back when he didn't have the possession of the ball, and Parker will take that kick out of the half-back flank.
He's playing
position.
fairly good football at full-back, Andrew Parker, and has kicked a nice one out towards the half-back line, but in came little Ian Linford, and he's taking the kick. He's signalling that he's going to kick it well forward, and Robson is there for the short one. Took it in front of Fuller. Robson has a chance to score from around about 55 metres out on a slight angle. 9 goals, 7 Mooroopna, 61 points. United 5 goals, 4, 34, as Robson kicks the ball but looks for the boundary umpire's decision that it is out of bounds. Bad luck Mooroopna, bad luck for Robson, but not good direction on that occasion as United clear the ball back around through Mick Power. Power gets a hand pass. Craig Blizzard is there, captain coach. He's in trouble. Ball sing out the crowd. Play on, says umpire Eric Williams. But it comes to the ground, out of the pack. Now the umpire's blown the whistle out there. He's speaking to Bruce Fuller. And the kick will be against Fuller. And we'll go to Linford. Linford's pretty well been in a lot of play here this afternoon for the Mooroopna side. And the big Mooroopna crowd pretty happy that he's got the ball in the forward line. There's the kick from Linford. Up they go. Reynolson knocked the ball down, but it comes to Cooper. Cooper over to Cross. Kieran Cross blazes away at goal. What's he done with it? He's put it through for 4 points. Well done, Kieran Cross. That's another goal to Mooroopna, and their 10th goal on the board, making them 10 goals, 7, 67 to Shepparton United's 5-4, 34.
And a great handball by Cooper out there. Very, very quick hands to handball the ball over to Cross, who goaled. United's move of shifting Ralph from centre half forward down to the half back line has meant Smith's all by himself across the half back line from Mooroopna, and it's really playing into Mooroopna's hands, I feel.
He's having a picnic there at the time. Ball in centre, and Warburton gets the tap, but it's coming out as it has done on a number of occasions from the centre. Mooroopna just about every time they're bringing it out of the centre, and this is where they're really winning. Although on this occasion it's Truan getting the ball out. All going in hard was Anselmi. Cooper the kick, overlooking for Linford. Nobody there. Fuller is for Shepparton United. Repulse at an attack from Mooroopna, and Fuller goes for the scoreboard, and he puts it out of bounds on the full. And Mooroopna, in the player of Robert Bentz, will take that kick from the resultant out of bounds on the full.
Making a few mistakes, Rod, which is not standing them in good stead in this second quarter. Up goes McCarty, comes to the ground. Judd for United. Boots it forward. Who's underneath it? Chris Smith. Can Spencer get it? Here is Smith, the former Fitzroy player, on the ground, and he'll take the free kick. What a great centre half back this player is. Out towards Anselmi, looks for the hand pass, dodges around, kicks it towards the centre of the ground. Billy Wong is there. Nicely taken, Billy Wong, as he casually plays the ball down towards the Kieran Cross direction, who's been on fire in the second quarter. And number 20 for the Mooroopna side, Kieran Cross, has the chance to put the ball right into the scoring zone. There's a kick by Cross. Warburton gets underneath it, takes a fine mark in defence. Formerly one of the great fullbacks of the Goulburn Valley League, and Richard Warburton hasn't played at fullback a lot this season, but is certainly a great back player. Played for the VCFL, and Warburton, tower of strength for Shepparton United. Boots the Demons out onto half-back on the outer side. Linford has the ball, the free kick being paid to Mick Power, and the Way Dairy Farmer will boot the Shepparton United side round towards the centre wing. Up goes Glenn Davis. He's been in everything, been on top of Truan in the game so far. Here's a chance for Truan to get the ball forward towards centre wing. Trionitis, who's been fairly quiet, considering we know what sort of football the Trionitis can play, in front of Pert on this occasion. Trionitis gets the penalty down towards centre half forward. And Selmy falls over. No, it's Pat Storer. Picked up for Mooroopna. playing it on. Davey. On the centre wing is Enders. Boots the Cats forward. Power gets underneath it. Comes to the ground in the Mooroopna scoring zone, but Power relieves the situation again for the Demons and finds Spencer on centre wing. And a bit of how do you do on the boundary too with McCluskey and Enders. Enders is a fairly rough customer when it comes to dealing it out. And Mooroopna clearing again through Pert on half back line. Pat Storer comes in. Boots the ball back towards the Gary Ralph direction, and he takes a fine mark with second bite of the cherry. Reynoldsson comes in, he's in trouble, gets his kick up towards half-forward line. Ashley Bicknell and Pat Storer knocked the ball over the boundary.
David, I see Madgwick is on, a little rover.
Yes, Cashin came off a couple of moments ago, Rod. I don't know for what reason, he was playing very well, but Madgwick has come on as a second rover.
Yes, that's an interesting one because they're probably, Wally's had a pretty good start at the moment. I'd say they're going to rest him for a little bit later on. And, of course, young Madgwick played very well last week. Here's Trewin with the ball for Shepparton United as he puts them forward, one of their few forays into attack this quarter. And it's Bicknell who picks up the crumbs, and a terrible kick from Bicknell. They're just not running hot today like they were last week. And, of course, they've been put under so much pressure by Mooroopna. And I'm sure that this is what Chris Smith has been instilling into his Cats over the season, that you must instill pressure into your opponents right throughout the day. Kick from Simon Baldwin. Not a bad one. Out into the centre wing position where Smith flies and takes the mark, almost uncontested. Beautiful mark from the captain coach of the Mooroopna side, and of course if they win, he'll be elected mayor tonight. And Madgwick it is, Davey it was, who kicks it forward to the centre half forward position. McCarty can't handle it. It's all Shepparton United, and the umpire has seen a free kick, and it's going to Gary Ralph, number 2 for United.
And playing a pretty good game today, Gary Ralph.
Yes, he is in line at the moment for the $300 award, which will be selected by our panel here this afternoon with the compliments of Ross Freer of Shepparton Toyota. $300 to the player of the day. And there goes Reynoldsson and almost takes a very nice mark. But it's in the deep in the Mooroopna forward line. Ralph can't handle it. Better get the glasses on them. They're a fair way over there, and we await for a boundary for a ball up. And the players untangle themselves there, and a couple of players not terribly happy, and somebody just got slung out. Cross is having a little bit of a how do you do with Bruce Fuller. Of course, I'd expect Fuller to be in there. And also Ralph is having a bit of a thing on with Bill Wong, and there's a couple of them in there.
Cross and Parker into it at the moment. It's been nonchalantly kicked out of the pack by Paul McCarty, and the umpires are still trying.
There's another booking.
Yes.
There's another booking. Gee, that's about 5 for the day, and yet David Code, I think you'd agree, none of them appear to have been terribly serious.
No, none of them have been really vicious, deliberate behind incident plays, but I suppose the umpires are trying to keep control in this grand final by bringing the book out.
Well, there's one thing for sure, David, that Peter Howe is going to have a late trip back to Melbourne tonight, because they normally hear the tribunals after the game, but right. However they may, I don't think they'll be asking him to come back to Shepparton just for a tribunal.
Well done, Warnett. He stopped that ball, and Fuller's kick committing the cardinal sin into Warnett and then bounced out of bounds. So we await for a throw-in deep into the Shepparton, the Mooroopna forward line, and Trewin trying to push the ball on, but over the boundary line once again. It's nigh on half-time here, as we've been playing around 28 minutes into the second quarter, and the scoreboard reads Mooroopna 10 goals, 767 to United 5 goals, 434.
Well, all the plays up in the Mooroopna forward line, because there's only 2 players in the whole forward section of the United goals, and they've installed the ball down there in that forward pocket, and they can't seem to get it out of the way. Here's the boundary umpire now with the ball. It's Peter Craig throws it in. Onto the ground it comes. Smith is there. And what's happening? It's going to be a free kick being played to Shepparton United. And that free kick will go to Mario de Santa Ana. De Santa Ana is being told by the umpire to kick the ball out towards Trewin, over the boundary line on the full, and the siren goes for half-time to see the half-time score. Mooroopna 10-7, 67 to Shepparton United, 5 goals, 434.
Well, they are giving him the free kick, so Mooroopna could increase their lead if he does convert the goal from that kick out of bounds on the full.
Right, there it is. It's half-time, 10-7 to 5-4, and we'll be back to the, when I say it's not quite half-time, because we'll just wait for the kick, and we'll cross back to the studio in just a moment and come back with a half-time summary. There's the kick from Wong, and it's been marked. So there it is. That's the half-time situation here in the grand final at Deakin Reserve. Mooroopna 10 goals 7, 67 in front of United, 5 goals 4, 34, and we'll cross back to the station for some commercial, and then we'll be back with our review of the first half of the 1985 grand final. Well, there are smiles on the faces of the Mooroopna supporters here at Deakin Reserve this afternoon, because the scoreboard reads Mooroopna 10 goals 7, 67 to Shepparton United 5 goals 4, 34 at half-time in this big Goulburn Valley League grand final. Mooroopna generally went into this game today as the favourites to win the game, but however, a very game and plucky Shepparton United could do anything today. But in fairly blustery, windy but fine conditions, Mooroopna are doing it well, particularly in the second quarter. Our comments today are coming from David Code, the dual Morrison medalist. David, a good effort so far, particularly by Mooroopna in that second quarter. They really played well.
Yes, Rod, the first quarter was pretty even with the scores. I think, in fact, level at quarter time.
That's correct.
United had the win, so perhaps Mooroopna could have been happy with their first quarter. But in that second quarter, Mooroopna took full advantage of the, perhaps it's a 3 or 4 goal win, and they increased their lead to 5 goals.
What did you think of Shepparton United's move of putting Gary Ralph down as a spare man in defence, because it did leave Chris Smith all on his own at centre half back?
Yeah, so I made the comment that it was leaving Smith unattended at centre half back, and he was able to repel many forward moves by United. But on the same token, I suppose it worked for United, because it did slow them down to a certain extent, the Mooroopna forward play.
Yes, it was a 6-goal quarter by Mooroopna, and only 1 goal kicked by Shepparton United. And out here, David, we can tell there's quite a stiff breeze blowing, so it'll be interesting to see whether United can pull out something extra in the third quarter.
Yes, this is certainly the championship quarter for United. If United can't bridge the gap and then increase that lead, they'll have very little chance in the last quarter when Mooroopna come home with the wind.
By the way, at half-time here, there's the Goulburn Valley 200 Club are conducting a super kick competition, and players from each club are kicking to see who's the super boot of the Goulburn Valley. So we'll have some film of that probably a little bit later. Well, there's $300 to give away today to the player we select as the player of the day. A great trophy, no doubt. You'll probably be wishing you were playing, David.
I wouldn't worry about the $300. I'd be just to be out there would be great.
All right, well, perhaps some of you, at the moment, perhaps some of your selections, some of the players who have been playing well. One I'd like to mention is Robert Bentz, who's playing extremely well for Mooroopna.
Yes, he's playing very well for Mooroopna on the wing. Enders also on the other wing. Cooper, I think, probably the leading kick-getter on the ground. He's obviously playing very well. For United, I suppose, a couple of their backline players, Mick Power, Bruce Fuller, those sorts of players. Kiddo's done a few good things in the centre.
It does appear that the Shepparton United small men, who were so prevalent last week against Tongala, don't appear to be in the game quite so much today.
No, although Craig Blizzard had a good first quarter, his second quarter was a little bit quiet, and Ashley Bicknell's been very quiet, and that probably has been the difference, as you said, from United last week till this week. The Mooroopna smaller players in Cashin and Cooper have been able to match the United players.
OK, well, that's how we see it at Deakin Reserve here this afternoon in the Goulburn Valley League Grand Final. For those people who did tune in a little later, the thirds today was won by Kyabram, who defeated Seymour, and the reserves was won by Lemnos, who had a pretty big win over Shepparton United. So perhaps the way things are going at the moment, maybe they might go down again. But however, the third quarter, we'll see what happens then. By the way, the umpires today, just like to mention umpire Howe and umpire Eric Williams from the Goulburn Valley doing an excellent job.
Yes, they're doing a very good job, and as been mentioned, it's particularly pleasing to see Eric Williams, one of our local umpires, doing the job, and they've been pretty busy too.
That's for sure, yes they have. Well, what about something like 4 or 5 reports today? We didn't see any that we could have said were really vicious, but they were there, and it'll be interesting to see what happens at the tribunal after the game. OK, well, we'll clear commitments back at the studio, and we'll be back to have a look at the super kick in just a couple of minutes' time here at Deakin Reserve for the 1985 Goulburn Valley League Grand Final. The Goulburn Valley League Grand Final here at Deakin Reserve in Shepparton. Mooroopna 10-7, United 5-4. Apparently we did have a phone call to the studio to say that Mooroopna won their last premiership in 1946. That was correct, but it was not in the Goulburn Valley League. It was at the time when Mooroopna played in the Central Goulburn Valley League, which was then a minor league. They did win it in 1946. In fact, it may have been under Jim Hovey, I think, at that stage. I think they may have won a premiership under Jim. But this is, if they win it today, it would be their first premiership since 1938. So we did want to clarify that, their first premiership in the Goulburn Valley League. Now, as you can see, we have the players kicking off in the super kick, and we saw a big kick from Shane Lovelace. His went an absolute country kilometre before, and that's Kevin Storer, the Goulburn Valley League representative, who was kicking then. Now, David Code, I believe you have the statistics which have been faithfully taken here by Ian Fitzsimmons. Let's have a look and see who's kicking the most kicks around the ground.
For Mooroopna, the leading kick getters would be Roy Senders with 15. He has the most of any player on the ground. Gary Cooper's next with 12. Darryl Reid has 11. Craig Anselmi in the back pocket doing a very good job. He has 10 kicks. Kieran Cross, very quiet first quarter, no kicks in fact, but in that second quarter, moving across the half-forward line, picked up 7 kicks and was a very good player. For United, their best players, well, the leading kick getters are players on the back line. Mick Power with 9, Gary Ralph with 8, Gary Kitto in the centre doing quite well with 7, and Bruce Fuller with 9 also on that back line, and young Gavin Truan has 8 after playing a very good first quarter. The free kicks are interesting. The total free kicks up till half time for United are 25 as compared with Mooroopna's 10, so that perhaps shows that United are getting in for the ball first. Just unfortunately they can't capitalise up forward once they get the ball up there.
Oh, sorry David, I was just having a nice cup of coffee there. Our wives have done the trick for us once again. Thank you very much, Karen and Cheryl, for that cup of tea. It's certainly very nice to have it. Yeah, so it's interesting. Let's just have a look at the players. We mentioned down on the ground some of the players who are going well, but if we go through the teams, particularly Chris Smith doing very well at centre half back. In that particular quarter, when Ralph moved off him, he was playing a loose man in defence and did all he had to do. Ian Linford is finding it difficult against Kitto, but in the centre of the ground, but he is doing reasonably well. Linford seems to be playing perhaps away from Kitto. Would you agree, David?
Yes, Kitto's doing a lot of good work at the centre bounce. He's picked up, I know, 3 or 4 free kicks at centre bounces, which is a big advantage for United. But as you said, Linford's doing quite well around the ground, and in fact picked up 5 kicks that quarter.
It was interesting to see that when Darryl Reid moved off the ground, they had a couple of players in the ruck, Mick Baldwin and also Stuart Pert, and they both did quite well.
Yes, and also it allowed Warnett to go to full forward, and he became a bit of a focal point there, and Ron Davey came onto the ground on the half-forward flank, and he became quite a prominent player.
He immediately came under notice, didn't he?
That's right, he kicked one very quick goal. It'll be interesting to see what United do this quarter on their forward line, particularly because that's the part of the ground that they're going to have to win the game from, kicking with the wind. Who they put at centre half forward and full forward, whether young Turlick can get into the game. He's been very quiet, been a good player all year, but unfortunately in the final hasn't done a lot at this stage. McLeod at full forward started the first quarter very well, so hopefully he can get back into the game.
Well, the marks today were Mooroopna 41 and Shep United 26, so that's considerable, larger amount of marks there for Mooroopna. So there's no doubt that the aerial supremacy holds with Mooroopna, with Smith taking 4 marks, Billy Wong and McCarty and Cross all 4 marks, and Gary Ralph for Shep United is the main marker with 5. And handballs, David, you've got them.
Yes, the handballs, Mooroopna 29 and Shepparton United 19. In that quarter especially, Mooroopna were teaming very well together, either with handballs and both tap-ons also. The hit-outs, Mooroopna 16, Shepparton United 16, so they're pretty even. Perhaps United could be looking at switching Warburton perhaps out of the ruck into a key position, perhaps centre half forward or centre half back. Certainly he's done well in the ruck, but perhaps he could be of better value in a key position, and perhaps put McLeod or Turlick into the ruck where they can perhaps nullify the Mooroopna bigger players as well.
Right, we've got a couple of aerial shots of the ground there. By the way, our intrepid cameramen are up on top of the grandstand here at Deakin Reserve, and there it is from the chopper. So that's how the boys up in the helicopter see Deakin Reserve this afternoon. Of course, it's absolutely ringed with cars and people, and it's a great sight. Not a record crowd, I'd say, but it should be a very good gate here today. And the boys from the 200 Club, led by Fredo McMahon, are doing a great job here. The actual kicking competition has ended, and I would think that Shane Lovelace no doubt has the largest kick. We saw him kick a hefty one before, and it really did go a long way. So that's been quite an interesting innovation here. It started last year, the kick, and it's been quite good, keeping this very large crowd here at Deakin Reserve right on their toes. Because some of the boys appeared as though they hadn't had a kick for a few weeks and they weren't terribly good, but we did see some fairly good ones here. Just in the Shepparton United camp, not so many players going well today. Mick Power, as we mentioned earlier, is going well in the half-back line, a full-back or back pocket player. Gary Ralph, wherever he's played, has done quite well, David.
Yes, Gary Ralph's been a good player. They perhaps need a lift from their more creative, skillful players in Spencer, Trionitis. Both those players have been fairly quiet, and they've been the sort of players that United have relied upon all year to get their game going for them, particularly from the centre and down into the forward line.
OK, well, look, we'll be back in a moment to bring you more of the thrills and spills of the 1985 Goulburn Valley League Grand Final. So until then, it's back to the studio.
Thank you.
The Mooroopna team are on the ground in huddle, waiting for the third quarter. No doubt they'll be brimming with confidence at the moment. And when you look at that scoreboard that reads Mooroopna 10-7-67 to United 5 goals 4-34, there's no doubt that United will have to pull something extra out of the bag today. Well, the super kick competition was won by the big fella, I believe, David.
Yes, Shane Lovelace from Kyabram won the super kick. I would imagine he'd won it fairly comfortably. Second was Garth McMahon from Tatura, so that's a great effort by Garth, and Greg Southwell from Shepparton was third.
Right, the Shepparton United team is back on the ground. Yes, Tom Carey, you can have a sandwich. We're quite happy for you to do that there. And Tommy's in the box with us today, Country Victoria's Premier Sports writer. And if we can't decide on who's going to win the $300, we might have to call on Tom a little bit later on today too. But United coming out looking a little bit despondent there, I believe. They don't appear to be quite the team brimming with confidence that Mooroopna is. So congratulations to Shane Lovelace on that big kick. Well done. Of course, Shane at the ball, I believe, is negotiating at the moment about his coaching future. That's all we heard the other day, but I have no idea where he might be next year. Somebody said he won't be with Kyabram, so it's in the lap of the gods with that fellow.
Yes, I think we'll just have to wait and see, Rod.
David, I just would like to congratulate you as well, because David Code, as you may know, our friends listening at home, won the Channel 6 Les Barry High Touchy Award this year. A very close competition, and it was won eventually by David Code. And we congratulate you, David, and it must have been a thrill. That's $2,500. It is, I believe, the richest cash award in country football, so it must have been a real honour to win that.
It was, Rod. It's a real honour to win an award like that, and many thanks to GMV6 and Les Barry Hitachi for making the award possible. It certainly does put a bit of cream onto the season.
There's no doubt. And what about your future, David? I had heard rumours that you may be looking to greener pastures in the future. What about that?
Oh no, there's very little doubt at all that I'll still be with Tatura next year, Rod. I'm very happy over there, and I think they're ready to improve a little bit. So I'm very keen to stay there next year.
Right, well, we're almost set to go in the third quarter of the Goulburn Valley League Grand Final for 1985, and umpire Eric Williams holds the ball up, and Gavin Power, the timekeeper, presses the button, and away we go. We're looking for a big quarter for Shepparton United. Ball bounced in the air. Turlick's in the ruck. They've had a couple of changes. Turlick in the ruck there. Goes out to Cooper. Hand pass to Linford. Linford goes forward looking for Wong, who's played a great game, and I just about pay that mark. It was a great mark on the full stretch. What about you?
Yes, I would have paid that. That was a great diving effort. Interesting to see Warburton has gone to centre half forward on Chris Smith, and Turlick into the ruck.
Billy Wong. Fine ruck rover for Mooroopna today, looking for Cashin, and he finds him. By Joves, that was loose play there for Shep United. And little Wally, who's back on the ground, and Cashin had a spell after about 20 minutes into the second quarter. He allowed young Jamie Madgwick on, but he's back again now. And Wally Cashin has the chance for the 11th goal for Mooroopna. Could be too far out. By gee, that's a beautiful kick. Oh, just slewed off, did it at the last minute. And it's through for a minor score. Bad luck, Wally Cashin. That looked very, very good there, but not quite. Not quite good enough. 10 goals, 8-68 to Mooroopna. 5 goals, 4-34 Shepparton United. Andrew Parker will put the ball back into play.
They've brought Greg McPherson also, minding the very dangerous Kieran Cross. I just can't pick up who's off the ground at this stage.
McPherson's a very good stopper too. Pretty rugged sort of a customer, McPherson, and he could be just the boy to stop Kieran Cross. Yes, Mooroopna into it back again. Here's Robson with it. Loses it. Eventually Reynoldsson is in there, and it's been kicked off by Royce Enders, I think, for the Mooroopna side, and Warnett's in there. He can't handle the ball. Parker puts it out of bounds deep into the Mooroopna forward line, and we await a throw in.
I think Judd might be the player that's off the ground for Reynoldsson.
Right, there's the throw in. Turlick in ruck with Cross. Indecisive tap down. It goes eventually to McPherson for Shepparton United. Up there looking for Truan. Davies in there. So too is Hicks. There's been a push, and Hicks will take it. The former Patterson medalist in 1982, the brilliant Kevin Hicks. Over into the centre wing looking for Ralph. Ralph can't handle it. McCluskey's had a quiet day. Hand pass to Warburton. Warburton eventually picks it up, but it's like a hot spud, and Smith's right on his hammer, and McCluskey will put the ball over the boundary line, and we await a throw in. Just 2 minutes into the third term at Deakin Reserve Shepparton. $300 will go to the best player of the day, with the compliments of Ross Freer at Shepparton Toyota. From the bounce, it goes to Warburton. Eventually over the boundary line once again. Negative play on this occasion, but United are endeavouring to bring the ball forward inch by inch, so to speak, and the boundary umpire will throw in once again. Smith directing traffic. Baldwin's in there too, so is Warburton. Smith on that occasion gets it down to his Anselmi. Anselmi gets the kick up to Cooper, who puts it over the boundary line, and once again right in front of the Channel 6 Sports Entertainment and News sign, we wait another throw in.
Looks like Mooroopna have moved Linford out of the centre also onto a half forward flank, and perhaps Ron Davies in the centre on Kitto.
That could be a very good move, and Linford can be pretty dangerous on the half forward flank too, there's no doubt about that. Here's Hicks with the ball now for Shepparton United, and we'll probably see another throw-in, I'd say, but Davies there. He's been met by Blizzard, and another throw-in will occur. Rather interesting it's over that side of the ground, David, because the breeze is certainly favouring the grandstand end, or grandstand side.
Yes, the play's been over that side of the ground for a fair part of the day. It's the attacking side, so I suppose the team going down that end is moving it through that side.
Bicknell snaps away at goal, and it is there. Good play by Ashley Bicknell. He took that from a Warburton hit out from the ruck, and Bicknell, the brilliant little rover that he is, he put his second goal on the board, and the first goal for Shepparton United in this third term, and they move to 40, playing 68 on the Ducat scoreboard. The Ardoniomi one, and we await for the ball to come back to the centre.
Yes, Bicknell again, a terribly dangerous player around goals. He finished that off very nicely. That would be a great encouragement to United, the first goal after the half-time break. So, you know, they'll be very encouraged by that goal.
Turlick goes in for it and gets it down to Blizzard, but he can't handle the ball. Eventually it's Pert. He looks like he's playing on the ball. Very clever player when he gets going, Pert. Oh, dodges 3 or 4 players. Eventually gets his kick. Cashin's in there with Warburton, the big and the small. Nobody can handle it. Eventually De Santana does for United. His kick up into the centre position. Ron Davies in there. Players being met pretty solidly. Here's Pert once again onto the left foot. Up to centre half forward, and it's United defending strongly through Andrew Parker. Over to Power, who's been a power today for United, probably their best player. Up looking for Spencer, can't handle it. Spencer's been playing very, very well on Spencer today. Hicks it is, picks it up. The hand pass over to in the Spencer direction, almost on the boundary line. There's the kick from Spencer up there looking for Warburton, who's up in the forward line, and Smith takes a beautiful mark. Gee, that was strength, David.
It was both very strong players, but Smith had the better position and took a great mark.
He's certainly a great player, the Mooroopna captain coach. There's the kick from half back. It's a wobbly old one that caught the breeze up in front of the grandstand. Up goes Trionitis. We certainly haven't seen the best of this player this afternoon, but maybe the second half will be when he can get into his game. Here's the kick by Georgie Trionitis for United. Up towards the Warburton direction. Goes to the ground. Trewin is there. Hand pass to Ralph. Can Ralph goal? No, he's going to hand pass to Hicks. Hicks is in trouble. Cooper is there. The umpire has seen a kick, and the free kick is going to be paid to Kevin Hicks. And he's got the opportunity about 40 metres out from goal to score another major on the board for Shepparton United, and that could make it interesting. Mooroopna are 10 goals 8, United 6 goals 4. They desperately need this goal. Can Kevin Hicks convert to a major for the Shepparton United side? In he comes, number 10 for Shepparton United, from the famous Hicks footballing family, and he's put it through the middle, and that's his first goal on the board today for Shepparton United, and United now go to 7 goals for Mooroopna 10-8. They needed that one, David.
Yes, a good start by United in this quarter, and they seem to be pretty well fired up after the half-time break, and they realise that it's the important quarter for them, with Mooroopna having the win in that last quarter.
The interesting thing today is we haven't seen any prolific goal scorers. Kieran Cross has kicked 2 and Darryl Reid 2 each for Mooroopna, but there's 8 goal scorers there in their 10 goals. Here's a chance for the Cats to come forward. Ronnie Davey in the centre, can't get it out. Breaking through was Trionitis. That's Trionitis at his best. Over to Hicks. Hicks boots the ball forward, and it's a wobbly 1 and 3 for 1 behind. Looking for somebody up in the forward line, but the kick was ill-directed, and it wasn't able to find the big sticks. So it's another behind on the board to make United go to 7-5. Mooroopna 10 goals 8. As they come out from goal through the outer side of the ground, Simon Baldwin in possession. Gets the hand pass over. Darvanisa kicks the ball up towards the centre wing. Up goes McPherson. Couldn't pull it in. Turlick's got it for United. Hasn't been able to assert his authority on the forward line, Dallas Turlick, and it rolls over the boundary line, being chased by McCluskey and Ralph of United, and over the boundary line on the outer side of the ground.
Turlick seems to be appreciating that the run on the ball is moving around the ground quite well, and good to see George Trionitis doing a lot better in this early stages of the third quarter.
It's been knocked down to the Cooper direction, but picked up for Shepparton United by De Santana, and kicked back. Cooper is on the ground now. It's a chance for Robson. He can't get it out. Cooper again. Drives it forward, in towards centre half forward. Fuller gets underneath it and is copped nicely after he'd taken the mark by Billy Wong, and he's been given a penalty downfield. Well, it's nice to see Fuller getting a penalty instead of giving one away, and Fuller boots the ball down towards centre half forward. McLeod is there, beautiful mark in defence. That's a great mark by Pert, and it's Darvanisa, Leo Darvanisa, and son of the great Troji Darvanisa, one of the Mooroopna greats of the past.
They used to call them the Flying Darvanisas.
Yes, well, there's a kick to another great Mooroopna name in McCarty, the son of a former Morrison medalist. That's Paul McCarty, boots it up forward. Chance for Bence. He gathers it in. Round it screws. Kieran Cross is underneath it. Oh, well done, Kieran Cross. Put his eye on the ball and took it before it rolled over the boundary line.
Kieran Cross, a very quiet first quarter, but by golly, he came into it in the second quarter. That's a lovely kick and a very nice lead to Mick Warnett. And Warnett makes no mistake. He marks about 25 metres out from goal on an acute angle, looking to centre it. Or will he have a chance shot for goal? He's going for goal, but it's gone right across goal. And looking for the big marks. Nobody can mark it. Yes, there. Oh, somebody kicks it. Hurt. It's been beautifully smothered and pulled out of a defence by Bicknell. Out looking for Trewin. And he can't have it. Eventually Trewin does grab the ball up, shows plenty of pace, does young Trewin from Assumption College in Kilmore, and he ran too far, umpire Howe says. Bad luck, young Gavin Trewin. And Gavin's only played some 3 or 4 games with Shepparton United this year. Came to Shep United via Catamatite, Cobram, Strathmerton and Assumption College. And he was born and bred in Catamatite, so he's got to have good breeding. And we now see the kick coming from Robert Bence up to the centre half forward position where McCarty marks. And he shows that he has marked the ball and showing plenty of strength as this brilliant young player from Mooroopna. Looks for the Enders direction and finds Enders. Did not gain a lot, David, in that case.
No, they put it across to centre half forward, so probably Enders is on a better angle, although he's a long way out. I think Reynoldson's done a pretty good job on McCarty for most of the day, although McCarty has got away on a couple of occasions. But full marks to young Reynoldson at this stage.
Well, he's only kicked 1 goal, McCarty, so far. That was a goal by Enders, and that was a good one by the number 26, the boy from Stanhope. son of Barney. Is that correct, Don? One of the very well-known names from out in the Stanhope area, the Enders family.
He's a nephew of Bill Enders, who the second 18 Premiership Cup is named after Bill Enders, a former president of the Goulburn Valley Football League and a great administrator in GVL football, now living in Queensland. And I'm sure Bill will be very pleased to see that he'll be having a look at the videotape of this game. He's very pleased to see his nephew playing well for Mooroopna. Up go the big fellows. It was Pert who knocked the ball down. Here's a chance for Ronnie Davey for Mooroopna. Up towards the forward position. A good mark by DeSanta Anna in defence to steady the Shepparton United side down once again. Over towards centre half forward. Good mark by Trionitis. He's starting to assert a bit of authority in the game this afternoon. Up forward it goes. Storer underneath. Almost took the mark. Plays it on in front of him. Well done, Patrick Storer. It comes out towards Blizzard. Out it comes to Anselmi. Into the centre. Davey is there again, gathering plenty of kicks in this third quarter. Wong goes up, but it's taken by DeSanta Anna again in defence. Over to Trionitis. Under it is Warnett and takes a safe mark right in the centre of the ground. Throws one out to stop Bicknell coming in. Gets the hand pass to Simon Baldwin. Baldwin hand passes back to Warnett. Up forward it goes. Underneath it, the big fellows come to the ground. Fuller takes the hand pass. Breaks down the field. Nobody home for Shepparton United. Paddy Storer and the captain coach in Chris Smith in defence. And Storer been awarded the mark by umpire Eric Williams. Umpire's doing a good job this afternoon. Had the book out plenty of times and they're very busy. Here's a chance for Smith to get the ball back. Playing a great game for his side. Kiddo has been a bit quiet. Couldn't take it. There's the Fox Linford. Linford unable to get it. He's number 3. On the ground, number 49 is Glenn Davis. And getting up off the ground, Mick Power, who was underneath the bottom of it. Truan, it looks like. Truan and Mick Warnett. But umpire bounces the ball now. Eric Williams bounced it up. Goes Dallas Turlick, number 11 for United. He knocked it down. Kiddo can't break away. Trionitis is in trouble. The hand pass went to Linford. Linford up forward. Oh. Nobody be able to take the mark. Look out. Cooper grabs the ball over to Enders. Enders in the goalward direction. Greg McPherson standing very steady in defence for Shepparton United. Out it goes to Bicknell. Well, Bicknell clashes there too with Cooper and drives it around the centre wing. As usual, not too many United players chasing the ball. Goes out to the outer side of the ground and it's picked up by
McCarty, I think. Onto Smith.
Yes, so onto Smith it goes. Simon Baldwin, hand passes out to Davey. It was Darvanese, he gets it forward. Cooper is under the ball and the Morrison medalist takes a fine mark.
Well, Cooper hasn't been a prolific kick winner today, not that you would notice, but however he's done reasonably well, David.
Yes, he's done pretty well, Rod. I think the United seem to be breaking down with their disposal from the half-back line, from the centre line. They're not giving their forwards much of a chance at all.
There's the kick from Cooper. It looks a beauty too. It looks magnificent and it's a goal. That is the class of a triple Morrison medalist in Gary Cooper. The name has come up 4 times in Morrison medal history. His uncle Jeff for Kyabram won it in about 1961, if my memory serves me correctly. What a magnificent player and a great goal indeed by Gary Cooper, the vice-captain here today. I think he is for Mooroopna, and they move on to 12 goals, 8 to United, 7 goals, 5, and that was a telling one. Here's Bicknell, who's come into it a little in the last few minutes. He puts it up to where McLeod can't handle the ball, and it's all Mooroopna. Jack Anselmi playing a great game in the back pocket. Sees the hand pass over to Bence. Bence is under pressure. He loses it, or eventually gets the hand pass out once again towards Anselmi. Davis, hand pass to Darvanese. Cool in a crisis is Darvanese, but strong in defence is Bruce Fuller, playing quite a reasonable game for the Demons. Kick from Fuller into the centre of the ground. Up goes Storer, can't handle it. There's Pert, could have got a free kick and will, yes. The umpire says he was tagged on the leg direction. And Gary Ralph handles his opponent in Storer. He might have the book out from Storer if he's not careful, being a constable. And we wait for Stuart Pert. Very pretty looking footballer is Pert as he goes up to the centre half forward position, almost marked by United, but there's Wally Cashin onto the left foot and there's only one player there and it's Trionitis for United. Out in the McCluskey direction, been quiet today as Rick McCluskey. And it's all beautifully sharked away by Shepparton United. Here's the busy player in Davey. Bad luck, he slipped over and gave away a free kick. but it's been a good move, David, bringing Davey into the centre.
Yes, and bringing him onto the ground during that second quarter. He's been a good player since then. Enders is having a very good quarter on that outer wing.
There's the kick. It came from the defensive United area there over towards Truan. He can't handle the ball. Eventually it's Hicks. He's pushed, could have got a free. Doesn't though. Eventually Blizzard puts it over to the Turlick direction, who kicks it up under the forward line. And here he is once again. The damaging Bicknell will goal again. There's no doubt about this fellow. Once he gets that ball in his possession and he's anywhere near goals, he makes sure of it.
Yes, extremely dangerous, and good play by Darryl McLeod there. He made up a lot of ground to at least contest the mark, even though he was behind Chris Smith. Chris Smith looked like he was going to mark it, but McLeod contested very well, and the ball fell to the ground, and as usual, Ashley Bicknell capitalised brilliantly around goals.
Well, United had 3 goals for the quarter and Mooroopna 2. Is this perhaps somewhat of a comeback for United at the present time?
Yes, I think it is, although Mooroopna seem to be able to steady after each United goal. They seem to be able to reply it.
From the bounce down, Simon Baldwin goes up, number 13. Good knock, but it's knocked away by Kiddo. Chris Smith is there, and Blizzard, the opposing coach, knocked it away. Here's a chance for Pert now to relieve the situation for the Cats. Can he do it? Yes, he does. There's a beautiful kick by Pert too, into the breeze, up towards the direction at centre half forward of Mick Warnett. He gets the hand pass over. Simon Baldwin's there again, over to McCarty. McCarty over again, and here's a chance for Wong. Billy Wong right into the Keith Robson direction. Robson takes it and puts it through. Goal number 13 to Mooroopna. 13 goals, 8, 86 to Shepparton United. 8 goals, 5, 53. And David, I've got the feeling that every time that United do something well, Mooroopna seem to be able to come back and beat it.
Yeah, so they just seem to have that extra experience or steadiness around goals or up forward, and they seem to be able to capitalise on their forward moves. They're scoring goals a lot easier than what United seem to be, and Mick Warnett started that good passage of play with a very strong mark in front, was able to feed out the handball very quickly.
They moved that ball down so quickly, didn't they?
Oh, very skillful, very good once they have the ball, Mooroopna.
Smith's really coming into his own at centre half back. There's the bounce down from Eric Williams. Up goes Warnett, indecisive knock, but Hicks has it. He loses it. Eventually Davey gets it out. No, he doesn't. Stacks on the mill, and umpire Peter Howe from the VFL will ball it up.
Davey's done well in the centre for Mooroopna since moving in, as Peter Howe comes in to bounce it again. Simon Baldwin is there. Comes to the ground. Blizzard, the skipper for the Demons, boots it forward. Anselmi knocks it away well. Truan, the class player, over to Ralph. Well tapped forward, Gary. Ralph Bicknell can't get the ball. Comes to the ground again. He's got it. Look out. It's Bicknell again. And he's kicked another goal for Shepparton United. 4 goals to Ashley Bicknell. Well done, little fella. That takes them to 9 goals, 5 to 13-8. And they've got to watch Ashley Bicknell there, David.
Yes, he's creating problems down there. United need to get the next goal now. They can't let Mooroopna get that one in reply. They need to score 2 or 3 in a row. And young Truan coming off to be replaced by another young player in Dean Patterson from the thirds. Dean, I imagine, will be playing on a half-forward flank or forward pocket, sharing the roving.
Having his first run today too. We haven't seen Dean Patterson today. Came on as an interchange player last week. There it is from a Bicknell, from a tap from Shepparton United, where Trionitis bullocks his way through, but there's been a kick for Shepparton United, and umpire Peter Howe says, you'll go back, Georgie boy, and take it from behind the mark. Billy Wong on mark. There's the kick. Up looking for centre half forward. Nobody home. Where are you, Shepparton United? Craig Anselmi playing a magnificent game as Jack in the back pocket. There's the kick from Anselmi. Not a bad one for a little fella too. The Flyers wanted Turlick's at the back, or Davey cop one, and he'll get a free kick. I think he made it look a bit better than it did too.
Just trying to look up at that United forward line, David. I think they've got Richard Warburton on Smith. No, there's a runner's gone out now to speak to Darryl McLeod. So they've got Warburton at centre half forward. They need to do something to lift their forward line. Ball coming to the ground now on centre wing. Simon Baldwin. Here's Linford. Boots it forward. Parker, Robson underneath it. Parker in front. It comes to the ground. The umpire has played the free kick United's way. Well done, Andrew Parker.
It's just to talk about Ron Davies since he's come on the ground halfway through the second quarter. He's had 11 kicks in the centre on the half-forward flank. So he's been a great player for Mooroopna from then.
I think that Linford's relishing the half-forward line too. He's playing well. That's been a good move. There's the ball in the centre of the ground. Up they fly. Nobody can mark it. Trionitis' kick looking for the dangerous Bicknell. no doubt this quarter the best player for Shep United. On to Power. Power to Warburton is beautiful football. Smith was behind on that occasion.
That was better forward play by United. They've made the change of putting Warburton down to full forward, and Smith's followed him there. And looks like they've brought McLeod out to perhaps centre half forward. So they are making moves on that forward line.
Waiting for the bearded Richard Warburton, puts his kick through and makes no mistake about it. That's not a bad kick for a back man, is it? And that's Richard Warburton there, keeping in touch with Mooroopna at this stage. And this is a good quarter for Shepparton United. Although there's no doubt with Mooroopna having the breeze at the last quarter, but Craig Blizzard's urging his boys on in the middle, and well, it's probably anybody's game at this stage.
Well, looking at the goal kicking, it's interesting. With 10 goals to United, we've got 4 to Ashley Bicknell, 2 to McLeod, Richard Warburton, Dallas Turlick, Kevin Hicks and Marcus Spencer. And for Mooroopna, a heap of goal kickers there, 2 each to Royce Enders, Darryl Reid, Kieran Cross, and 1 each to Robert Bence. Also, Wally Cashin, McCarty, Ron Davey, Bill Wong, Gary Cooper and Keith Robson have all kicked goals for Mooroopna, which goes to show they've had plenty of players on their forward line on top right throughout the game. We've played now for 21 minutes into the third quarter of the 1985 Goulburn Valley League Grand Final as Simon Baldwin goes up. Warnett comes over the top. It comes to the ground and eventually into the hands of Mick Power, who drives it forward into the Kiddo direction. He gathers it in, been hotly pressed by Ronnie Davey, who grabbed him when he didn't have the ball, but it rolls over the boundary line, and VFL umpire Peter Howe says, throw it in, boys, as we wait for the throw in by Kevin Boyler. No, it's not. It's the other boundary umpire in Peter Craig to throw the ball in.
I noticed too that Darryl Reid has not reappeared since half-time.
No.
That could be significant from the Mooroopna point of view, because they may not have that spare ruckman there. Cooper can't get onto it, and Selmy cops one, could have got a free kick. Turlick's in there. He's doing his best to get one, and eventually the ball comes out as umpire Peter Howe says, I'll have it again, fellas, and he'll ball it up. We don't have any details on the crowd at the present time. Obviously the gate still being counted. There's Turlick. He's done well since he's come into the ruck after the half-time, and Hicks has bundled over the boundary as Cooper cannot handle the ball, and the ball goes over the boundary, and we wait for a throw in, and United attacking once again as they have done for the better part of this quarter, almost into time on. They've kicked 5 goals 1 to Mooroopna's 3 goals 1 in this quarter, so it's been United's quarter, but they really have to lift more. There's Ralph, grabs it out of the pack, goes for the kick, and it's a good one too, but through for a minor score. Ralph trying to do the job on his own there on that occasion, but it didn't quite come off. He's played pretty well though as Gary Ralph, and played on 3 or 4 positions so far today.
13 goals 8, Mooroopna 86 points, United 10 goals 6, and we're coming up now towards time on in the third quarter as the Mooroopna side boot the ball back in towards the centre of the ground and up towards their scoring zone. Not too many United players there to give them a hand. Here's a chance for Davies on the outer side of the ground. It's Kieran Cross. He gets it up to where Paul McCarty. Has he been paid the mark? Yes, a beautiful sliding mark as he threw himself at the ball in desperation to get the ball for the Cats.
Full marks to young Reynoldson though. I think he's done pretty well on McCarty.
Though McCarty has done a couple of things this quarter, it's still pretty even, I suppose.
There's the kick by McCarty. We'll wait on the goal umpire. Premiership type of goal, that one, from right on the boundary line, about 45 metres out from goal, and he's put it through for his second goal today. Paul McCarty for Mooroopna, and that's Mooroopna's 14th goal on the board.
Yeah, showed his class there, an experienced goal kicker with over 100 goals for the season on a quite a tight angle and about 40 yards out. Didn't have any problems putting it through.
Well, we're almost into time on. 14-8 plays, 10 goals 6. Still anybody's game, but Mooroopna are in the box seat at three-quarter time. There's Simon Baldwin taken by Turlick. Good play, young Dallas, only a youngster, this fella, and he's kicked a goal. No, he hasn't. It deserved it. He played it beautifully. He took it from the ruck. He
leg break, Rod.
Yes, ran forward 10 or 15 metres and then eventually kicked, and it did leg break right across. And unluckily for Shepparton United, 1 point only to take them to 10 goals 7, playing 14 goals 8, and it's kicked out onto the half-back flank. And that man again, Turlick, who's in everything in this quarter, puts it into the half forward, into the centre line, where Gary Kiddo, who has been quiet for this term so far, takes a timely mark. Gary Kiddo, pretty experienced player, 25 years of age, been playing since a teenager with Shepparton United. Looks for the short to Blizzard. Oh, poorly done, because it's Royce Enders in the van for Marupna, and he sees McCarty in the true centre of the ground, right in the centre circle, and that was bad play by McCarty too, because committed the cardinal sin. But here's Davey, one of the real goers for Marupna at the present time, but it's eventually picked up there by Truan. And it goes back to the half-forward flank position. McCluskey slips over at the crucial moment.
Chance for Patterson.
Yes, Patterson get his first kick for the day. Can't handle it, though, as a matter of fact. And I think the umpire will ball it up right over in the... No, it's still...
It's right on the boundary line, Rod. I've got the glasses right on the umpire, and he's decided to pay a free kick to Paul McCarty of Marupna, and has apparently decided that one of the United players threw the ball out in front of him, and it's McCarty to get the kick on the outer side in front of the scoreboard, which reads 14-8 Marupna. United are 10 goals 7. And here's Greg Reynolson getting the ball back, but his hand passed straight into the hands of Royce Enders, and Enders boots the ball back in the forward pocket position for Marupna, and it's chased over the boundary line and out of bounds. Simon Baldwin, the player there, who's coming back into ruck. So Baldwin goes up against Santa Ana, I think, is going to go up against him. No, it's Turlick. It comes to the ground. Cashin is there, gets the ball onto his boot, high in the air. Reynolson versus McCarty. It comes to the ground. Kiddo leads in the race for the ball, knocks it on to the brilliant Bicknell. Bicknell gathers, got Cooper in front of him. Over it goes to Fuller, and Fuller steadies the Demons down in the last line of defence. Bruce Fuller, former Waiai and Yamurka player, boots the ball out to half-back flank. Patterson is flattened as he goes for the ball. Play on, says umpire Peter Howell, and the Cats come forward. Kieran Cross takes a mark and should get this one, David.
Yes, could have been in the back to Patterson there. Perhaps I thought the other player, the Marupna player, came right over the top into his back, but Marupna were lucky enough to be able to capitalise, and Cross has passed it shortly out to Cooper.
Yes, that was very loose defence by Shepparton United, because Gary Cooper, the will-o'-the-wisp, all of a sudden he was there. Nobody knew from whence he came, and he makes, no mistake about it. Yeah, straight through. That was brilliant play from the triple Morrison medalist. Nearly said it again. And that was a great effort. And that's Gary Cooper showing the class. That's his second goal, and it's Marupna's 5th goal for the quarter. So they've come up. They've each kicked 5 goals for the particular term. United have kicked 5 goals 3 to Marupna 5 goals 1. Be interesting to see the statistics for the third quarter when Ian Fitzsimmons tots them up at the end of the quarter. And we've played 26.5 minutes into the third term, and we look set for a pretty good last quarter of football. United still trying to go ahead through Hicks. They can't do so. Eventually Warnett gets it out. Player trap there. Well done, Linford. Power with the kick out, and Darvanese takes the mark, and the umpire says, yes, Leo, I'll play it. Over to Smith. The hand pass badly. Smith, that was one of the few mistakes he's made today, to Trionitis. And here's the chance for Warburton, but it eludes him and through for 1 point. One of the few mistakes Smith has made all day.
Yes, that was an uncharacteristic handball by Smith. He didn't hit the target at all.
Simon Baldwin, the big tall ruckman come backman for Marupna, kicks the ball out now. Simon Baldwin, son of Chummy Baldwin, another of the 200 club members, one of the great Marupna football families. Out to the centre of the ground it comes. Gary Ralph is there. Well hand passed over to Power. Those two players work well together. Kevin Hicks is in the van. Over to Blizzard. Blizzard hand passes badly. Comes to the ground. Turlick. Free kick, says umpire Peter Howe, and it's Ashley Bicknell's free around about 40 metres out from goal on a slight angle.
And we've just seen Rick McCluskey come off the ground, replaced by Gavin Truan, going out onto the outer wing.
Well, McCluskey started well early, but hasn't done much, particularly since half-time.
And Enders has come into the game more.
There's a kick from Bicknell. The goal umpire's run right across. He's missed it. Bad luck for Ashley Bicknell, because he's kicked 4 goals, but that's one behind, and that takes the Marupna, the Shepparton United side now to 10 goals 9, 69. Marupna 15-8, 98. And we've been playing now for around 28.5 minutes into the third quarter of the big Goulburn Valley Grand Final, live from Deakin Reserve Shepparton on Channel 6 Sport, as Gary Ralph picks it up and boots it through for another one. They're keeping United there within reach of Marupna, but it looks to me as though Marupna are just waiting for them to do something, and then Marupna come ahead and do what they like.
Yes, United have to be admired at this stage. They're still really fighting on with the game. They haven't given up by any stretch of the imagination, even though Marupna are 5 or so goals up, and Ralph there kicked a very nice goal.
And Simon Baldwin hung his head in shame there, because the kick out from the point was a bad one. And Chris Smith went over and had a little word to Simon and said, you could have kicked it somewhere else, lad. But anyway, up they come again. Turlick, who's done well in ruck this quarter. Nobody can get the decisive tap, but out it goes by via Davey out to the half-forward flank. And there's been a free kick, and it's going to Royce Enders, who's been one of Mooroopna's really good players today. Royce probably needed to lift a little bit for this final, and he has done so. He's played extremely well today. Waiting for Royce to put it onto the right foot. Truan on mark. There's a kick over there looking for Robson, and Robson marks, and he can't handle it. Yes, the umpire says play on. It's kicked off by United to Truan. Truan juggles it. Number 49 for United. There's the kick out into the half-forward flank looking for Ralph, and Ralph can't handle the mark. Well, eventually is it Anselmi, who's been a real terrier for Mooroopna coming up there, and here's Cross. Been a good player for 2 quarters, looking for Davey into the centre, finds him, nobody can mark it. Kiddo, terrible hand pass, and 3 or 4 players trying to claim it, and the umpire will obviously say, with Stacks on the mill, I'll have a ball up. Fellas, at 3-quarter time, and that's the situation with Mooroopna in command at 3-quarter time at Deakin Reserve. 15 goals, 8, 98. United, 11 goals, 9, 75. This is the live telecast on Channel 6 Sport of the 1985 Goulburn Valley League Grand Final. Deakin Reserve is bathed in sunshine as we await for the final quarter at the 1985 Grand Final. It's been a great day. The Mooroopna coach Chris Smith is talking to his boys, obviously saying, fellas, we really need a big effort if Mooroopna are going to win their first Goulburn Valley League Grand Final since 1938. And
Darryl Reid, right out the back of the pack of Mooroopna, they're having a run around. Looks like his knee's quite okay, and he'll probably come on in this final quarter. Well, so much hinges on the game from the Mooroopna Football Club. So many years they've put in, and so many people are here today to try and see them win this game. David, you got some statistics on the game so far?
Yes, Rod. The major kick getters would be Gary Cooper. He'd be approaching the 20 kick mark by this stage. Looking at the statistics, Royce Enders had a great quarter there. He'd also be up around the 20 kick mark. For United, their major kick getter would be Mick Power with about 15. In fact, Enders has 22 kicks. So those players I mentioned have perhaps been the good players. Enders, Cooper for Mooroopna. Ron Davey, since coming onto the ground halfway through the second quarter, has had a large number of kicks, and for United, probably Power has been a very good player on the back line all day, as has Fuller. Ashley Bicknell that quarter kicked 3 goals, I think, in the forward pocket, so he's very dangerous. Craig Anselmi in the back pocket on Bicknell has been a good player, although if you have 4 goals kicked on you, I suppose that takes a little bit away from your game.
Yes, that's right, David. The quarter by quarter, as you see there now, sees quite a big quarter by Shepparton United. They kicked 6 against Mooroopna's 5, and however, they did have the assistance of the breeze. So Mooroopna really did hold them fairly well, and it's going to take a really magnificent effort by United if they're really going to come up. They're going to have to lift their game a little bit. However, David, I saw a few flashes of good play in the last few seconds, or the last few minutes there.
Yes. United did play a good quarter. They should be happy with that. Although they did break down the lead, I think, by 1 goal. They did play a fairly good quarter. OK,
we'll be back for the big final stanza of the 1985 Goulburn Valley League Grand Final. But right now, let's clear commitments from the studio. Thanks, fellas. Well, the Mooroopna team have broken up from their huddle. United beat them. I believe we've got some details on marks and kicks so far.
Yes, in both departments, United had a lot better quarter that quarter, although Mooroopna is still in front in the statistics in marks and handballs at the 3-quarter time break. In marks, Marupna have 64 compared with United's 42 again, showing their strength overall in the air. And handballs, again, Marupna just slightly ahead, 48 to 41. But as I said, United picked up in both departments that quarter and played a lot better quarter with the wind.
Well, Don's been down the front. I'm wondering, Don, did you pick up either an air of expectancy from the Marupna camp, or do you feel that United have still got enough hope that they're going to pull this game out?
Well, the Marupna camp are very excited, Rod. I think they're chanting down there and they believe that they can win this grand final, the first for 47 years. But of course, United will have other ideas, and here's Ralph trying to get the ball forward, and Trionitis, he's in there also for Shepparton United, but umpire Eric Williams is going to make the bounce.
Here's the bounce down right in the centre of the ground now, just seconds into the final quarter, and here's Robson with the ball, favours the hand pass to the brilliant Enders, probably Marupna's best player, onto the left foot, looking for Reid, who's come on the ground into the back pocket, and McPherson has it now, over to Fuller. Been a steady defender, looking for Truan. Oh, gee, that was a hard one for Truan, but eventually he puts it back to Fuller, who follows up and comes up into the half-forward line. Warburton going there, and here's Ralph. He has the chance.
Chris Smith has badly injured his leg, Rod. He finished up, he fell over. The leg wouldn't hold him up and finished up on the ground, but the trainers are coming out to him now.
That's bad news for Marupna, but however, good effort by Keith Robson on that behalf, almost in the centre of the ground, and he's been pretty steady for Marupna. He sells the dummy, but he's in all sorts of trouble running back. Nobody there but Stuart Pert. And Pert steadies coming up out of defence, butters up nicely as he puts it up towards McCarty, can't handle it. Here comes McPherson for Marupna, but here's Enders once again, or rather Warnett. Madgwick it is who's on the ground to Davey. Davey has the chance, and I think he'll dribble the ball over the boundary line, and the umpire was right there, and he signalled out of bounds. It's in the left forward pocket area for Marupna, and we await for Davey to take the kick in.
Couldn't see what that was for.
No,
free kick,
it's
actually.
A free kick given. Beautiful kick from Davey, actually looking for Reid. Oh, up they go, and it's McCarty. There he is. Paul McCarty, the 100 goal kicker for 1985 for Marupna. The youngster with a ton of ability. He's a country boy at heart, this boy. Could well have done well in VFL, but decided to come back to his beloved Marupna and has the chance to put them another goal further forward, and he does so beautifully as Marupna move on now to 16 goals, 8 to United, 11 goals, 9. A telling mark from the young, talented player.
It's a very good mark in the full forward line by McCarty. I actually didn't see what the free kick was for out in the boundary line here, but a great mark by McCarty. Reynoldson unfortunately made the mistake of going for the mark himself rather than punching away, and McCarty capitalised fully by kicking the goal.
The Demons are 5 goals down. It's going to be hard for them in the final quarter. Marupna have the sniff of victory in their nostrils. They tell me that every white post between Marupna and Shepparton has been adorbed with blue streamers to make the blue and white all the way from Shepparton to Marupna for the 8 kilometres or whatever it is, and they'll be very pleased to drive past them tonight on the way home. Here's McPherson trying to get the ball away for United on the outer side of the ground. Peter Howe has paid the free kick downfield.
Yeah, Billy Wong was the offender.
And over there on the outer side of the ground, it was Patterson who got the ball up towards the forward line. The free kick goes Shepparton United's way and goes to Dallas Turlick up there. Stuart Pert is on the mark. Turlick comes around, kicks the ball in towards centre half forward. Trionitis sets himself underneath. It actually came right through, but Trionitis couldn't mark it. And the Marupna defence is standing steady. Booting the ball out was Leo Darvanese in fine fashion. Finds McCarty. The brilliant Enders passes magnificently to Robson. Robson back to Enders, who ran on. Over it goes to Bence. Bence moves the ball up into the forwards towards the Darryl Reid direction, but Parker is able to take the ball in front of him. Marks in defence, immediately being claimed by Mick Warnett, and a penalty downfield it goes to Parker to kick out from further downfield. But Enders is there, takes a mark. Done nothing wrong at the moment, Royce Enders, and certainly on top and one of the best players for the Marupna Cats in their premiership bid here this afternoon. 16 goals, 8 Marupna, 11 goals, 9 Shepparton United.
Reynoldson in trouble.
Enders kicks the ball forward, and Reynoldson looks like he's injured, and he's going to be limping off the ground, I'd say. Here's a chance for Hicks for United. Can he get them forward? Hicks comes through, left foot kick round the outer side, and Selmy underneath. Drops to the ground. Who can get it? Blizzard is there for United. It's Patterson. Over to Blizzard. Blizzard still keeping the Demons in it. Towards centre half forward. Who can get it? First in the race for the ball. Darvanese. Magnificent in defence, Leo Darvanese. Gets the ball down to McCluskey, who's come back onto the ground to replace Reynolson, and it's out over the boundary line and out of bounds, and the throw-in to take place right in front of the big grandstand that's packed with footy fans here this afternoon enjoying this game.
What a solid player Leo Darveneser is. Great defensive football from that youngster. And the boundary throw-in goes to Pert, but it's picked up by True, and he loses it. Kiddo, here's Cooper, here's the chance. He's dangerous. He runs almost too far, looks for the pass to McCarty. That's where he wanted to go, and United endeavouring to come out through Parker. But it's a little Madgwick with the ball. Oh, he loses it. Umpire says play on, and it stacks on the mill. Eventually it's Parker who puts it into a very dangerous position, but over onto the right half-back line for Shepparton United. Here's Davey, nowhere to go, centering it hopefully, but oh, it's all United. And here's Kiddo with it now. Hand pass over to Spencer. Spencer, the laconic young player from on the centre wing, takes the bounce. There's the kick, and it's a beauty too. Up there looking for McLeod, who takes a screamer almost, and the umpire says it was touched. Good effort by McLeod. He perhaps just rose a little early.
A fraction early, but he seemed to hang there, didn't he? He seemed to hang in the air on the back of the Mooroopna player. That was better play by United. They got the ball moving quite well, and a beautiful long kick by Spencer.
29 points in front, Mooroopna at this stage at the 7-minute mark in the final quarter. There's the kick out. Oh, it's a nice kick too, right in towards the centre of the ground. Kiddo is there looking into the sun as he marks the ball. For Shepparton United, he's right on the centre white line area in the centre ring where they bounce the ball. Up towards half forward. Patterson gets up, can't take it.
Robson, was it?
The Cats are doing well at the moment. It's Glenn Davis. He's been a good player all day. In fact, there's been very few passengers in that Mooroopna side. Over they go, a chance for Bicknell. He's been dangerous on the forward line. Turlick kicks the ball into the player in front of him, and Selmy gets the hand pass out but finds Blizzard. Blizzard's kick goes up in the air and down it comes with Chris Smith resting in the last line of defence. He got a sore leg, but wasn't able to take the mark. Chance for Spencer, who's there, number 4 for United, but the free kick is going to go Shepparton United's way to be taken by Dallas Turlick. One of the better players for United, Dallas Turlick, did well when he came onto the ruck. Now in the forward line, he's looking over to look for a short pass, but I think he should take a shot for goal. Turlick's kick comes forward. We'll wait on the goal umpire. I think he might have got it. Yes, there's full points to take them to 12 goals, 10. Mooroopna, 16 goals, 8. They could do with a few more, David.
Yes, but as I said before, United certainly haven't given up. They're fighting this game right out, and full credit to them. They came into the game as underdogs. United been the top. Mooroopna have been the top team all year, and United are fighting the game right out.
Umpire Howe with the ball in the centre of the ground. We've played 8 and 9 minutes into the final quarter. 104 plays 82. Still a chance for Shepparton United with Turlick doing well in the ruck, and Davey hand passes it over. Kiddo's in there trying to get the ball out for them to go forward, but it's Cooper. There's Patterson with the mark. Cooper once again, and it's aerial ping pong at the moment as Cross picks it up. Over into the half-forward flank looking for Billy Wong. Wong can't handle it, eventually does. Over to Madgwick. Here's the little fella. Madgwick, who's come on as an interchange player, blazes away at goal, and it looks pretty good to me. That is a beautiful goal, David Code, one of the best of the day.
Yes, on a very sharp angle, a great goal by young Madgwick, and that's been the pattern of the day, really. United would kick a goal and Mooroopna would answer straight away. They just can't bridge the gap, and here we see Madgwick running in on a very acute angle, 30 yards out, and kicked beautifully straight through the centre.
Young Jamie Madgwick, only 16, 17 years of age. His father's a trainer for Mooroopna Footy Club, and he'll be very pleased to see that go through and send Mooroopna further on their way to their first grand final in many years. Up go the big fellows now. Purdy's there, comes to the ground. Patterson getting in for his knock as well. Smith, hand passes to Glenn Davis, who's been solid in defence. Up towards half forward, there's a chance for Madgwick again. He's doing well on that half forward line over there on the outer side of the ground. Good kick by Jamie Madgwick up towards full forward. Reid is there, comes to the ground. What can the big bomber do about it? Nothing but throw his fist around, and he's copped one from Bruce Fuller. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Bruce Fuller get reported there. Umpire Peter Howe has paid the free kick to the big bomber.
Good decision. I saw that, Don. It was all Fuller's fault. Okay, I know that Bomber Reid did retaliate, but it was Fuller's fault in the first place. And we'll see Bomber Reid have a chance, although he's injured, to kick. Just looking at young Madgwick, I wonder whether he might be doing a Teddy Hopkins coming on from the bench. He's already kicked one beautiful goal, and he's a very likely looking customer up in that forward line. Bomber Reid says, thank you very much, Bruce Fuller, I'll have it. And that was a great goal to Mooroopna, and no doubt the hearts of the Mooroopna supporters are right in their throats at the present time. Well done, Bomber Reid. Although he's been injured for part of the day, he's kicked 3 goals and is a leading goal kicker with Paul McCarty. He and Reid are the only 3 goal kickers for the day so far.
6 goals to the difference at this stage. Mooroopna looking good for their first grand final, for their first premiership in the Goulburn Valley Football League since 1938, as the ball has been lost, and that's going to cost the Goulburn Valley League over $50 because they're just coming to get another ball from the interchange area. We've played now for 10 minutes into the final quarter as the umpires receive the ball back once again in the centre of the ground, and we'll wait for play to start once again.
The $300 for the best player on the day. We were having a talk about it before. Perhaps at the moment for Mooroopna, probably Royce Enders, and for Shepparton United, Mick Power. You'd agree, David?
Yes, I'd agree with that right at this stage.
Yes, certainly Royce Enders has been an inspirational player for the Mooroopna side. From the bounce, Patterson, who's done well in the last quarter, tried to get it forward. There's Glenn Davis bursting through for Mooroopna, but it goes out to the outer side of the ground. Chance for Robert Bence. And the free kick is being paid out there to Chris Smith.
A bit lucky, I thought. David,
oh,
you think he ducked into it?
No, I thought he got it pretty high. He's also coming into contention, I think, perhaps for that $300. He's playing a very good game.
Yes, I'd agree with you, David. He's been a tower of strength in the back line. Here's a chance for Fuller to get United back in front.
He's also been a good player for United.
Yes, wobbly old bounce. Gets the ball up forward. Oh, Smith almost took the mark. Chance for Marcus Spencer. But it's Leo Darvanese with the ball, but the free kick has been paid by umpire Peter Howe, and the free kick is going to go to Marcus Spencer for Shepparton United, and he would only be about 45 metres out from goal on a slight angle, but they're 12 goals 10. Mooroopna are 18 goals 8. They need this one. Marcus Spencer's kick comes forward and I think has missed. Point. Yes, it's a behind only to make United go to 12 goals 11, and Mooroopna 18 goals 8, so that's not going to help United's one little bit.
All the Mooroopna supporters breathe a sigh of relief, but I think at the way they're playing, they would have to be absolutely robbed if they were to lose this one. In the back pocket, Mooroopna, Cats coming out of defence once again through Darvanese, a very solid player. Up they go. Oh, Smith, what a mark. David Code, he's a great player.
Oh, tower of strength, right, he's a terrific player.
Here's Storer with the left foot, bit of a wobbly one, but here's Kiddo, who's tried hard for his side all day, and over to Truan, but Truan's in trouble. Fuller, probably second best player for Shep United today, although he's given away a few foolish free kicks, but that's the way he plays. Here comes Davis, a very solid performer playing there onto Billy, the tap on, I think, from Billy Wong. Over to there, Speedster's wanted, and it's Kieran Cross for Mooroopna, who puts it forward in no man's land, or Warburton's unloaded, so here comes Cooper in, and he says, fellas, I'll have a shot for goal, and he kicks it in true Morrison medal fashion.
Yes, a great bit of play by Cooper. The skills of the player coming through there. Picked the ball up beautifully and made no mistake shooting it through the goals.
Well, that's their 4th goal for the quarter. Great goal. See the snap? Magnificent, wasn't it?
Yes, he's a great player, Cooper, as everyone knows.
Those people watching perhaps up in the Murray League, Ovens and Murray League area who haven't ever seen Cooper play, he's played more Winfield interleague games than any other player in country football. He played for Goulburn Valley and, of course, for the Southwest League over in Mount Gambier, and has been a magnificent player. And, of course, he's capped it off by winning his third Morrison medal this year.
Peter Howe is the umpire who bounces the ball, and Simon Baldwin goes up, knocks it to the ground. Can they come out with it? Here's the show for United, picked up by Kiddo, up towards half forward, towards that big flank area where all the Mooroopna supporters have stationed themselves. Darryl McLeod with the ball, got it over towards Smith. Knocks it back. McLeod there, hand passes. Patterson is it, who's in a bit of trouble. Play on, says umpire Williams. Bill Wong, nice little tap over to Ronnie Davey. Davey sucks the McCluskey in. Back to Davey. Up forward it goes. Reid versus Parker. Parker knocks it to the ground. Well done, Andrew Parker. Play on, says umpire Howe. Back to the centre of the ground. It's been knocked to the ground, and Trionitis couldn't get the ball, but the free kick goes Trionitis' way, and he'll boot United forward.
Hasn't been the effective player we know of Trionitis, Don.
Certainly not, and that's probably one of the reasons why United haven't done as well. But I feel that they've played about as well as Marupna have let them. Marupna, I feel, have been on top most of the places in most of the day, and that makes it pretty hard for United to get up. But they've got a chance now to kick another goal, because Kevin Hicks has been paid the mark on the outer flank, and he's only about 25 metres out from goal. He's on a pretty acute angle at the 15-minute mark in the final quarter. Kevin Hicks comes forward and drives it through the centre to make them go to 13 goals 11, Marupna 19-8.
Yes, Kevin Hicks showed courage there, got into the pack and copped one too high, and again, good skills from him, kicked accurately through the goals.
That's the second goal for Kevin Hicks today. Has it come too late? 13-11, 19 goals 8. A pretty handy lead at this stage to Marupna Cats. And I'm sure if they win it, nobody in the Goulburn Valley would begrudge the Cats a premiership at this stage. They've done everything right this season. They've been extremely well led off-field by Noel Dobson, and on-field, of course, by that magnificent captain-coach in Chris Smith. Here's McPower, best player for United. And he copped one too, and they say play on. The umpire says good decision as Bruce Fuller kicks it up onto the half-forward flank position. McLeod goes for the tap. Here's Bicknell. Hand pass to Truan is good football. Truan not badly directed to young Patterson, but it's right out on the half-forward flank. And Patterson playing only played a handful of senior games. He kicks it up into the Dallas Turlick position. Almost marks it, does Turlick, but it's been forced away by Marupna. But here's McCluskey, the only one on either side anywhere near the ball, and McCluskey blazes away at goals, but for a minor score only. And United need goals, there's no doubt about that. The Wilbur Shillington scoreboard reads Marupna 19 goals 8, 122. United 13 goals 12, 89, and a big cheerio to all those Marupna supporters, those probably half a dozen supporters still at home, because the rest of them are at Deakin Reserve today, this afternoon, for this thrilling 1985 grand final.
Here's a chance for little Madgwick in the centre of the ground, but drops the ball, and he's been put down, and the free kick goes his way. Madgwick will kick the ball up forward for Marupna. Can they get another goal at the 17-minute mark into the final quarter? They're in front 90 points to 122, so they're doing it well for their this grand final attack. Here's a chance for Truan. Truan for United, number 49, with the ball. Gets it. What can he do? Hand pass out. Trionitis taps over. It's picked up by Bence. United come forward again through Turlick. Turlick boots it up towards the centre half forward position. Over the back it goes. Patterson's got a show trying to pick it up, but it comes to the ground. Players throwing themselves in on top of the ball. Play on, says umpire Peter Howell, and with the binoculars on the players to try and pick up just who is in there. Coming up from the bottom of the pack was Chris Smith. That's the boy with the helmet, number 1, the captain coach, and played a great game today for the Marupna Cats. Knocked away by Stuart Pert by the Marupna player, very unhappy about being paid a free kick against him, but the free kick goes to United.
I don't think it was against Stuart Pert. I think it was against Glenn Davis, and it was an infringement on Marcus Spencer, who takes the kick.
Spencer comes in now. Left foot kick for Shepparton United. Wait on the goal umpire's decision. He's put it through. So that's an interesting one there for second goal for Marcus Spencer. But, they've got to get a move on in the last 8 or 9 minutes of this game. They go to 14 goals 12. Marupna 19 goals 8. And the Marupna crowd's pretty excited.
Are they playing well enough, David, to win it? Marupna? United, I should say.
They'd have to be very fortunate to win from here, Rod, I think, but Marupna seem to have relaxed a little bit at this stage, and United are playing well. They're still continuing on, so I don't think they will, but Marupna probably want to get a little bit of a hurry on by the same token.
From the bounce, the ball moves United way. Well done, Craig Blizzard. Speedster's wanted, and here's Smith. Oh, what a great player. Got nowhere to go. Goes for the left foot and up to Simon Baldwin, who's all on his own, coming out from defence. Baldwin goes around his player, sells the dummy, over the hand pass to Cooper. Cooper going wide and finds Robert Bence, been a solid player. Not quite so dominant in the last quarter, though. Bence looking forward, or Parker almost takes it. There's Warburton, traps it in, loses it. Good play by young Madgwick, who snaps for goal. And it goes over the boundary line, and for a throw-in, he nearly did to Teddy Hopkins. But that was a good play by young Madgwick, although he was just slightly off direction. But it's in the Mooroopna forward line, and that's where the Cats want it.
20 minutes gone into the final quarter. Mooroopna looking good for the flag for 1985 as it comes out to Ronnie Davey. Davey for the Cats, boots them forward. Up they go. Big Bomber Reid is there. Taking a very fine mark over the back of the pack was Andrew Parker, who certainly has been a fine defender today for Shepparton United. A big Mooroopna contingent getting ready to run onto the ground to congratulate their players. It's great to see some of the people who have been around the Mooroopna club for a long time here today. People like Barbie Bullen dressed in a Mooroopna jumper and John Ryan, the former president, all here to barrack for the Cats today.
Push.
Up towards the half-forward line. Blizzard is there. He's never given up for Shepparton United. Played a good coach's game today. Out it comes from McLeod to Blizzard, over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Yes, Craig Blizzard, we haven't mentioned him very much today. He's played a reasonably good game, but he's done a great job this year, Blizzard. His first year as coach, he's got both his first and seconds into the grand final, and he's done very, very well indeed. A real terrier. Speaking of terriers, here's one of them, and it's Gary Cooper. Looks for Warnett and finds him. Lovely pass, lovely mark. Good football, Mooroopna, playing with confidence. Mick Warnett up over centre. Looking for a cross, who gets the push and could have received a free kick, but it's McPherson with it now. Over to Bicknell, who's been a real terrier and a trier for United today. Played in fits and starts a little bit, though, on this occasion. There's McLeod, who's been unsighted almost since the first quarter, and he loses it out. Well done, Mooroopna, as they stream forward.
That's Glenn Davis again, Rod. He's done it all day. He's really relieved extremely well from that back line and got the ball away on many occasions. Well, here's a chance now for United to come forward, but it's Ron Davey who stands steady, and the Cats come forward again. Up goes Warburton, knocks the ball down. Play on, says the umpire. Mick Power gets a hand pass over in good play. Kevin Hicks is there. So too is Kiddo. Back to Power. Power goes forward. Who's underneath it up in the forward line? Nobody can take it. Glenn Davis is the player again. And Anselmi, he's the player that boots the ball out round the outer side, and it's over the boundary line and out of bounds, says umpire Peter Craig, as we wait for the throw-in to take place.
Actually bounced on the boundary line, Don.
19 goals, 8, 122. Mooroopna at the 21-minute mark into the final quarter of the 1985 Goulburn Valley League Grand Final. Shepparton United 14 goals, 12, 96, and so that's 26 points the difference in the favour of the Mooroopna Cats, but United are not giving in.
No, they certainly not. And here's one of the players not giving in, is McPherson, as he kicks it up forward onto the half-forward line. And
Trionitis.
Yes, it is. It's Trionitis. I had the post in front of me. I couldn't see terribly well there with the field glasses up, but we have a free kick. And that player's being spoken to is Trionitis. And it's Davis with the ball now on the half-back flank. A real goer for Mooroopna today. Up there where it's nicely taken by young Patterson, who came on in the third quarter. Patterson's kick back, looking for a forward move from United. There's nobody there. Oh, player met pretty solidly from Mooroopna as we see them streaming forward through Warnett. Beautiful mark has been taken by Greg McPherson as McPherson goes forward again for United, right out into no man's land. And Speedster's wanted as McLeod comes in. He picks it up, Hicks, and didn't shepherd terribly well there. And he looks forward to his forward and he finds him. And he's going to get a free kick if he's not being paid the mark. And he surely will receive a free kick. It's George Trionitis, the Golden Greek, who'll probably be playing soccer next week. Next Sunday, as he plays with the Shep United Soccer Club as well. But he's chosen the Aussie rules game today, and he has the chance to put the 15th goal on the board for United, but that was badly ill-directed. Couldn't afford that one, Dave.
No, you missed that one. We should have kicked it. McPherson's actually been a good player on the half-back line for United since he's come on. Cross was very dangerous in that second quarter, and McPherson was brought out onto him, and he's kept Cross pretty well under control since then.
There's the ball coming back now, and Mooroopna stands steady again. Well done, Mick Warnett, as he gets the hand pass over to Royce Enders. Enders boots the ball right into the teeth of goal, and Reid is there, but unable to take the mark as his knee plays up on him again. 122 points, Mooroopna. Shepparton United 97, and we've played now. The clock on the scoreboard shows 24.5 minutes have gone into the final quarter of the 85 Grand Final, and the Cats have the premiership sewn up in 85 in the GVL. Here's Cooper. The magnificent Cooper shoots the ball forward, and he says, "That'll do me, fellas," and puts it through for 4 points. Well done, Gary Cooper.
Well, there's no doubt that's the absolute class of Cooper. It's
his 4th goal, Rod.
He kicks 4, and in fact he's now the most goals on the board for the Mooroopna side, and it was so fitting that he could really put the nail in the coffin and drive it in so hard for Mooroopna for his 4th goal. And Mooroopna's 20th, 20 goals 9 plays, 14 goals 13. It's all over bar the shouting, and the Mooroopna crowd in front of the Shepparton Football Club rooms. You can sense the tremendous excitement there that well, here it is, we've finally won it after so many years of battling hard, of joys and sorrows and ups and downs that the Mooroopna Club has got. But they're a very professional organisation now, the Mooroopna Football Club, and they'll thoroughly deserve their victory here this afternoon.
Yes, certainly, Rod. A lot of work being done behind scenes. People like Noel Dobson, Bill Brown, Richard Green, all the boys at Mooroopna, as well, of course, is beautifully led by Chris Smith, and Gary Cooper has really helped them on their way. Here's Enders, best player for Mooroopna, gets a hand pass up to Davies. Davies up in the air it goes, only to find Greg McPherson coming in. He's done well on that back line, particularly in this quarter. Bruce Fuller and Kieran Cross having a bit of a how do you do, but it's a bit late in the game, Bruce, for worrying about that. The game is just about over as we've played for 25 and a half minutes now into the final quarter. Here's the boundary umpire, Kevin Boyler, throwing the ball in. Up goes Dallas Turlick. He knocks it forward into the Truan direction. Up it goes. Enders punches on, but Kiddo grabs the ball now for United. Boots it back in towards the sun. Out they come. Darvanese is there. Through he goes. Almost went right through young Patterson. Here's a chance for Ralph. Ralph to Blizzard, the coach. Blizzard kicks it forward in the direction of Ashley Bicknell, who spills the mark. Look out, here's Chris Smith coming in. Number 1. Hand passes out to Storer. Constable Storer boots them forward, only to find Gary Ralph in defence, and has taken the mark and will put the ball. He decides to go for a hand pass, actually. Over it goes, and it's a mark being taken by Glenn Davis, being great in defence. It finds McCluskey. The direction is a little bit off Mooroopna in the dying stages of the game. Here's Fuller for United coming through. Boots it in towards centre half forward. Up go the big fellows. Trionitis claims the mark. Who does umpire pay it to? Spencer.
Marcus Spencer with the chance. But
bringing Royce Enders off the ground, Rod.
Yeah,
Royce Enders coming off.
A bit sorry about that, because I felt he was, certainly being their best player. I thought he should have stayed on to the end and really be there for the end of it. However, Marcus Spencer did kick a goal for Shepparton United, and he's kicked his 3rd. Has been a reasonable player for United today.
Yeah, especially in this last quarter when he's been up in the full forward position. He's done a lot better than perhaps what he started out doing on the wing.
Well, they've just announced the gate, and as I thought, not quite a record, but a very good one. $21,500. The record last year on around 23.
23, but it's an excellent gate, Rod, considering the cloudy conditions earlier on.
Beautiful conditions today, though.
Yes, we're in the dying stages of the game. Deakin Reserve bathed in sunshine. The Cats come forward through Bents, up to the forward line. It's a Mooroopna premiership. Darryl Reid can't do much to help it on its way, though. McPherson still solid there, driving the ball back towards the Hicks direction. Here's Wally Cashin. What can he do with it? Shocking kick by Cashin, but it's too late to be worrying about it, fellas, as Bill Wong takes the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds. Just runs into United trainer Tony Goodall as the boundary umpire throws it back into play. In there is Turlick. It goes up against Pert. Turlick knocks the ball nicely towards Kiddo. He's being shepherded by Fuller. Hand pass back to Turlick. Oh, he's grabbed around the neck, but the umpire has decided to pay the free kick. Eric Williams said Billy Wong grabbed him too high, and the free kick goes to Turlick on the half-back flank. He's in the hands of the trainers at the moment. Don't think he's terribly badly hurt. The boys are running up there with the camera right on the ball there and see if we can get a close-up shot. Can't see much but trainers at this stage. Dallas Turlick getting up. Well done, boys. Jocko Connor and the boys there helping him along. Up goes the big fellows. McLeod got up high, couldn't do it. Chris Smith tried to kick the ball out. Only a minute or so from siren time, I would imagine. Kieran Cross there. Cooper gets the ball forward. What can Darryl Reid do? He's hobbling along, can't do much. Parker is in front of him. Played well today, Parker. Out towards half-back flank. 3 United players there. It's been taken by Truan. Too high, Wally Cashin. Play on, says the umpire. And it's Bicknell. Bicknell boots it forward. Mooroopna solid. There's Chris Smith. What a great player at centre half-back. Has been done a great job in defence all day, out towards the Cooper direction, but taken by Bence. Bence hand passes out. Robson it is with the ball. Hand pass to Cooper. Cooper kicks it forward. Is he going to kick another goal? No, it's offline. And one behind only to take Mooroopna to 20 goals 10. That's good kicking for the Cats. 130. They're 27 points in front of United. 15-13, 103.
David, it's been a fairly even last quarter, actually, with 5 goals 2 to Mooroopna and 4 goals 4 to United.
Yes,
so
well, since half-time, United have stayed with Mooroopna, or they haven't been outscored much by them. It was just that second quarter.
Second quarter did the trick. And it's, as I say, almost all over bar the shouting. And there's a fever pitch excitement in the Mooroopna camp at the present time. They can smell it in their nostrils. Only 60 seconds of this game to go for 1985, and football will be all over for another year. Dallas Turlick got up high. Trionitis is in there. Linford, and Trionitis will receive a free kick. He's had a few of those in this quarter. He's battled hard, but hasn't been the force of old. Trionitis' kick up there where Smith it is. Can't mark it. Bicknell's there trying his heart out for United. No doubt he's been one of the better players for the Demons today. Here's Pee Wee Young in your screen now, one of the real forces behind the Mooroopna Football Club for many years. And Pee Wee there slapping Ronnie Davey as he comes off. He's played well. Here's Cashin. Great to see Wally on for the last few minutes.
As the timekeeper Gavin Power is about to press the button. There it is.
And there she is.
And he's very pleased to do so. And the Mooroopna crowd swamped the arena because Mooroopna are premiers for 1985. I'd say every Mooroopna inhabitant is now on Deakin Reserve, and it's going to take us a long time to get Chris Smith and the boys over for the presentation of the cup in front of the grandstand. Congratulations, Mooroopna. 20 goals 10, 130, defeating Shepparton United 15-13, 103 in the 1985 Gvfl Grand Final.
Well, we'll clear commitments from the studio, and then we'll come back and give you a review of the players that we believe should vie for the $300 from Ross Freer of Shepparton Toyota as the best player on the ground. Give you details on statistics, etc. And then hopefully, if we can get the Mooroopna players up onto the podium, we will be here to witness the presentation of trophies. But that's it, the Mooroopna Grand Final for 1985. And for the moment, it's back to the studios of GMV Channel 6. Before a $21,500 gate today at Deakin Reserve Shepparton, the Mooroopna Football Club have emerged as premiers, victors and victorious over Shepparton United to win their first Goulburn Valley League premiership since 1938. A magnificent performance by Mooroopna to win 20 goals 10, 130 to Shepparton United 15 goals 13, 103. That's how they did it. Scores were even at quarter time, and Mooroopna had a very good second quarter. As you can see there, they kicked 6 goals to 1, and then for the rest of the game it was relatively even. 6 goals to 5 in the third quarter, and in the final quarter, of course, they kicked 5 goals to 4. So there wasn't a great deal in it, but that was it. And Mooroopna, of course, totted up enough to win it quite handsomely by 27 points. Great victory, and congratulations, of course, go to Chris Smith.
Yes, congratulations to the Mooroopna club. They fully deserved the grand final win. They've been the top team all year. A percentage in excess of 200, so they've won a lot of games comfortably, and United should be pleased with their effort. At the end of last year, they reached the grand final, but they lost a number of good players over the summer, and they had a hard job ahead of them, but they stuck to their task well, and they ended up playing in the grand final, coming up from 4th position, I think. So they should be happy with their effort. They've got a number of younger players who will be with them for some time.
What amazed me about today when I looked through was the amount of players on both teams that came through the juniors and the reserves and the thirds, and I think this augurs well if these teams will support the youngsters and bring them up through the ranks, and it's shown here today with the amount of players that have come, particularly United, more players than Mooroopna, but still there's a real sprinkling of players there that have come through their junior ranks.
Yes, I suppose over the last few years, United and Mooroopna have been the two strongest clubs in the junior ranks, both under 14, under 16, right through to the third 18, and that's paying dividends for those two clubs now.
Well, that sea of faces that you see there, somewhere there are 20 Mooroopna footballers in amongst them, and we have the difficult task of trying to get them up onto the podium so that the various medals can be presented to them. So I don't know how long it's going to be, but I can see Ian Linford there being congratulated. And of course, right in the centre of it will be Chris Smith, no doubt, the captain coach. And we've looked at the best players, and the boys up here in the press box. We've got Tommy Carey and Les Cranage and David, Don and myself. We've elected in a split decision almost, Royce Enders to receive the $300. It could have gone, we believe, to Royce Enders, Gary Cooper or Chris Smith, but we've decided on Royce Enders for 4 very, very good quarters of football. Let's have a look at the goal kickers. Gary Cooper kicked 4. He was the top goal kicker for Shepparton, for Mooroopna, particularly in the last half. I thought he came on, showed his brilliance in no mean manner. Paul McCarty 3, Darryl Reid kicked 3, although he hobbled in the forward pocket for the better part of the last quarter. There were 2 goals kicked by Kieran Cross, who had a very good second quarter, Royce Enders, and 1 goal each to Keith Robson, Billy Wong, Ron Davey, Robert Benson, and Jamie Madgwick, so they all had a hand in it there. For Shepparton United, the top goal kicker was Ashley Bicknell with 4. Marcus Spencer had 3. There's Smith now. He's being cheered off the ground, and a great tribute to a great man. For Shepparton United, other goal kickers were Kevin Hicks and Dallas Turlick and Darryl McLeod, 2 each. 1 to Gary Ralph and 1 to Richard Warburton. Now, we've got statistics, and I must say our thanks to Ian Fitzsimmons for doing a great job with the statistics today. Let's have a quick look.
Just very quickly, Rod. Royce Enders, the leading kick getter on the ground with 27. Gary Cooper next with 22. And followed by Ron Dave with 17. And he came on in the second quarter. For United, their major kick getters are Bruce Fuller with 20, Mick Power with 16, and Andrew Parker with 14. All 3 players, backline players.
Well, it looks like the players are making their way up to the podium, so we will cross for a quick commercial break, fellas, and then we'll be back here for the presentations to Mooroopna for premiers for 1985 season.
Ladies and gentlemen, to make the presentation of the Hasty Cup, the Premiership Cup in Goulburn Valley football, the President of the Goulburn Valley League, Barry Conley.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Certainly a great pleasure for me to present the Premiership Cup to Chris Smith, who is today celebrating his 29th birthday. On behalf of the Goulburn Valley Football League, Chris, you've been the best team all the year. You've proved it on the ground. You've come out on tops with a magnificent team. What a magnificent team of contributors. Congratulations to you, but there's always a loser, and all condolence to the Shep United side for the second year. Condolence to you. Congratulations, Chris and Denol. Well done.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from the Premiership coach, Chris Smith.
Ladies and gentlemen, supporters, thank you very much for that, and I can assure you a better birthday present I couldn't have got. It is indeed a thrill to be standing up here receiving this long-awaited Hasty Cup in recognition of our premiership year. I can assure you that there's been a lot of hard work that's gone into the winning of this cup, not only by the players, but certainly by the administration, recruiting committee, ladies auxiliary, boot starters, trainers I should say, a lot of people, supporters alike, and the hard work has paid off here today. We have prided ourselves all year in being a disciplined side. We have remained humble at all times. We might break that rule tonight. It would be remiss of me if I didn't pay true tribute to our opposition today. Congratulations, Shepparton United, in coming runners-up. But as Barry Connolly said, there does have to be a winner and, of course, a loser. So I do feel for the losers. I surely wouldn't like to be on the receiving end in your position now. But thanks very much for the game today. And to my players, thanks for the birthday present.
A dejected Shepparton United can't make their way into the Shepparton United rooms to leave the celebrations to the thousands of Mooroopna fans who are here at Deakin Reserve this afternoon. And what I admire so much about the Mooroopna fans is that, well, probably 90% of them are absolutely dyed-in-the-wool fans of the Mooroopna Football Club. Not like some of the other clubs that we get here where they seem to pull fans out of the woodwork only for the finals. Mooroopna supporters, as they say in the classics, are Mooroopna right through to their underpants, and that's what they've been here today. And that they alone will be really celebrating tonight, and congratulations to every one of them. To Noel Dobson, the president of the club, who has helped steer the club to this success, and of course we cannot underestimate the magnificent performance by Chris Smith and the players as they receive their medals on the podium, and it's pandemonium on the podium this afternoon. And there's the final score, 20 goals 10, and there's Royce Enders, who received the $300 award from the panel here this afternoon as the player of the day, the $300 on behalf of the boys at
player on the ground.
There's Bruce Fine.
Thank you, Royce.
Well, there we are. We just got Bruce Fine there from Channel 6, who was presenting the $300 to Royce Enders as the best player judged by us here today. Well, let's wrap it up because we do have to have other program commitments. David Code, your best players for Mooroopna firstly?
Yes, I thought Mooroopna were just too strong in most parts of the ground, too tall, too strong. Their best players, as we said, Enders, Cooper, Smith, and probably for United, I thought Power, Fuller and Parker were their better players. OK, in the reserves game here this afternoon, Lemnos won that one. 18 goals, 13s to United, 10 goals, 7, and the thirds, Kyabram, 12 goals, 7 to Seymour, 7 goals, 9. Well, that wraps it up for season 1985 from Goulburn Valley League Football. Thanks to Ian Fitzsimmons, our statistician, and thanks to you, David, for your comments throughout the day. It's been great. And on behalf of Don and I, and also our great team here at Deakin Reserve, we say thank you for being with us there at home. Sorry you couldn't make it to Deakin because it's been a great day, but it's been Mooroopna's day, and that's it. We sign off for the 1985 Grand Final saying, well done, Mooroopna Football Club.